Keisha's been using my desk for work from home.
Okay, so shall we kick it off, or you guys need some time?
I get a good berry and put it in Hevel's throat and stroke his throat weirdly. That's what I gotta do, right? Like stroke it, just like and then he eats it.
So do you want me to do it last time?
Up to you.
Do you guys want a reminder of what happened?
I get to stroke his throat weirdly, as per Danny's Eve.
Do a
I
reminder.
think it's a nice tradition hearing what happened last time.
Yeah, I think so too. Okay, so the last time on Dragon Ball Z, last time on D&D. So you guys, after reveling in the riches of defeating the pirates that attacked Tarina gave you the information that you required on the Dead Three, and she advised you that the cultists of the Dead Three have been supporting from a dungeon hidden beneath the bathhouse. So you, with the information that you found out, you traveled along towards the bathhouse and came across a very interesting character that decided to make chummy friends with Anish and told them that there is also some work that could be done at the Low Lantern as a bouncer. However, you proceeded on to head towards to the bathhouse, and once you arrived, it was daytime, and you did a bit of investigating and managed to have a chat with the owners of the bathhouse, or the workers rather, to which Hevel decided to partake in what he thought was going to be a very interesting massage, but instead turned into a bit of an investigation, which he managed to get some information out of one of the workers. Upon completing the massage and some investigation, he identified a secret entrance in the northwestern part of the building, and rejoined with the group to let them know of this. So you decided to stake out and wait to see what would happen, expecting some supporters of the Dead Three to come in, only to find that Thanesh, using himself as a bit of bait, gets attacked by an imp and nearly gets killed instantly from it. However, you manage to recover and destroy it, to which you start noticing that as all of the workers have left, there was a few bits of motion and blobs going on inside the bathhouse. Following a further investigation, you managed to have a very gripping and close fight with 3 hooded cultist figures and 1 other cultist figure that was hurling a big skull flail rather. After coming out successful with Hevel being knocked out unconscious, and the 4th cultist, the one that had the skull flail, being poisoned and knocked unconscious as well, with the others remaining dead. This is where we finished up last time. What do you do?
I put a good berry in his mouth and massage his throat sexually. Wait, actually, can I? I'm a spider. Where did my good berries go?
So, yes, you are currently transformed at this point in time.
Oh, this is awkward because I only get 2 transforms. Just saying. Is it
You're
worth
gonna have
keeping him, or do I stay transformed?
Does it expire, or can you drop your dangleberries?
I always thought that your equipment was also part of the polymorph.
Yeah, it says I can either, if it's transformed into, say, an ape, and it's the same kind of shape, I can usually wear it, as long as it's the same everything. Otherwise, it drops or it transforms. So it's optional, but I'm going to go with, I'm a spider, so I absorbed it all.
Yeah, I'm going to...
Stupid fairies.
I'm going to rule that a spider has an exoskeleton, therefore you'd be protecting everything, including the stuff that you're wearing, by that exoskeleton.
Cut open his abdomen!
Can you guys not save him some other way? Because it's expensive. It's like all I got is transform into fucking spider.
Just out of curiosity, how long does your transformation last for?
1 hour. And
So
I get it back on. I get 2 per short rest.
Okay. So as a reminder, Hevel has been stabilized, and he is going to be unconscious for the next hour as well. You also have the figure that you poisoned is unconscious and poisoned, and will make a recovery within an hour. But at this point, I believe that he cannot talk, or cannot be interacted with, but is currently being kept alive.
Would he respond to message?
Let me look that up.
He's paralyzed and poisoned.
So
Even if
No.
he recovers.
So would he continue to take damage while he's poisoned?
So the ruling on the spider's bite says that if the poison damage reduces the target to 0 HP, which is what it did, the target is stable but poisoned for 1 hour, even after regaining hit points, and is paralyzed while poisoned. So the poison is still going to affect him for the hour, and when it runs out, the paralyze and poison effect will go away. And as for the poisoned effect just reads, a poison creature has disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks.
There we go. Alright. I guess I gotta untransform. I untransform. However, that I don't think I have to cast, I just say I do it.
Okay.
Oh, there's a bonus action earlier.
You
And
got to make
bonus
a
action.
transform noise.
Nah, it'd be more spider, it'd be like and yeah, I transform back to normal and then I massage him.
Okay. So as this good berry slowly makes it down with your assistance of massaging Violet, you see a little bit of life in Hevel as his eyes start to open back up. You gain 1 HP of life, Hevel, and you are now regained consciousness.
Woo!
You yell out "woo" with less gusto than that as you're just waking up.
Just imagine a Hevel coming back to life, and the first thing is like, fuck yeah! And her arms thrust in the air.
The wings expand. Oh, fuck, there's a big cramp here.
Yep.
What now? We got a prisoner? What do we do with him?
We wait, so we've got to bring him back to life now, don't we? Because we put him to 0. Do I good bury him and then start
Let's tie
questioning
him
him?
up.
What do you reckon? Oh no, he's poisoned and paralyzed for an hour. We're good. You can't get out of that shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
it doesn't give him a way to get out of it.
All right, wake him up. Do you think, Drew?
All right, I put what was it? It was some big troll thing, yeah.
No, he's a medium humanoid.
Can I use my mage hand to float around him holding my crossbow? My light crossbow.
Sure.
All right, oh god, I'm down to 2 good berries. I put a good berry in his throat and massage it sensually. That is what it said, Dada, yeah?
Oh, that's just, you can come up with whatever way you want to administer it. That was just one example.
You guys are ready for me to do that, yeah?
I stand back.
I'll point out that Hevel looks pretty sore.
Pretty
One
well.
health.
I could heal myself.
Oh, we could just short rest while we question him.
Yeah. So as a reminder, you entered a bit after what would be midnight, and you've done your investigation and competed in the fight. So as a rough estimate, it's around about 1 a.m. in the morning.
Well, I feel like we're kind of in the middle of this thing.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about a short rest.
All right, let's question this guy. I ask, what's happening? What's going on here? Who do you work for? How many
So
people are downstairs?
So have you administered a good berry?
Yes, to his throat and massaged it.
He is still paralyzed and unable to respond.
Oh, fuck, I forgot about the unable to respond bit. Shit. Come on,
I'm-
guys.
I message him what Apple says.
We can
I
just,
point at him.
rest and wait for him to come to.
Yeah.
But then all the poison and paralyzed stuff will avoid, so then we'll have to fight him again.
Nah, he's not going to do much.
Well, he might conk himself in the head again. We
We can
can't risk
restrain
that.
him.
Yeah, we can. Is there anything around we can restrain him with?
Use a perception check for me, please.
Oh, I shouldn't do this, guys.
I
Ooh,
have
should
a
do
rope.
this.
Yeah, I've got some rope.
I got an 18 on perception.
So, despite hearing the cries from your party members that they have some rope and some other tools, you actually spot in the dim light that's going on about a mound of 100 white towels that belong to the bathhouse that you could then possibly use to wrap around his arms.
I opt to do that.
There you go. So you run along and you pick up probably about 6 or so towels, and you use one set to bind his hands behind his back, one set to bind the legs together, and then just for good measure, you use the remaining 4 to wrap, kind of like a mummy, all the way up from his legs up to around his chest, just binding everything together. You look at it and you think, "I've done a really good job."
Hey,
I
who
want
was it that had
to.
the create bonfire spell?
Yeah, I
Because
can.
I'm just saying, if this goes pear shaped, you know what to do.
The man is currently restrained.
All right,
Okay.
so we've got to wait an hour for him to come out of that. Do we want to sit and rest while we do that? You can.
Yeah, I can do that.
Do you guys want to?
I don't want to because I won't benefit. But if you want
I
to,
will.
You'll get hit points.
I don't need them. I've got all mine.
Oh, nice. You can stand near the door. You don't have to rest then.
All right. Which door? The
Come on to the secret. All right. So James, is that cool? While waiting for this guy.
Yep. So, sorry, just put your characters in the position that you want them. Okay. So,
Before we do it, anything, I want to drag the 2 dead bodies into the room that Hevel is in, and just put them outside.
okay. Yep. Can you roll a strength check for me, please?
Uh, 14.
14? Okay.
Alright,
So-
it's just straight. Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
yeah, just straight.
athletics. Okay.
No, it's just a straight strength check. It's
Okay.
fine. It's more just to work out sort of the time frame it takes you to do it. So, as you start dragging them along, you find that you're able to lift them with relative ease. They actually feel quite a bit lighter than what you would expect a person of this height to be, but you do it with relative ease, and it takes you around about 2 minutes to drag the 2 bodies that are inside into that room.
Nice.
Also, do you have control of Fib?
I can.
Pretty sure.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
he would have come back to me.
Yeah, you've got control of him.
Oh, can I move him?
Yeah, you should be able to move him as well.
Okay.
So you can make him do whatever you want.
Yeah, or just while we rest, because I'm watching this entrance, I'm going to send Fip outside and just sort of perched inconspicuously. And just sitting out there. And then I'll just, every now and then, I'll focus in on him and see what he sees.
Everyone else good?
Yep.
Yep.
I'm just chilling, keeping an eye out.
All right. So what I'll say is, so this rest is going to go off without a hitch. However, we're going to use a bit of time to explain essentially a bit of meditation that's going on during this while you're thinking of what's going on, what you've encountered, and this is going to relate to the religion check that Thanesh did. So this is what Thanesh, I'm going to say this is what you're remembering, and it's up to you to share it or not. And the question that was raised was, what are the banned religions within Baldur's Gate? And so there are actually no banned religions within Baldur's Gate. There is, however, the banned act of doing something unlawful in the name of religion. So people within Baldur's Gate, you're able to recall that they can practice whichever religion that they want, and some of that might be towards the god Gond, god Helm, or god Ilmater. There's actually a few others that go on. However, these are the ones that you can recall. The additional one that you can recall is the Dead Three. Specifically, the Dead Three relate to Bane, who is the Lord of Tyranny, Baal, who is the Lord of Murder, and Michael, the Lord of Bones. And
Sorry,
you
that's
know
the
that
last one. Sorry, Michael.
Miracle, I think it is
Miracle.
Myrkul. I wonder if there's a pronunciation.
Sounds like Merkel.
You are correct, Myrkul, god of death and necromancy, otherwise known as the Lord of Bone. And you recall that there is something prominent about the followers and of these three followers, and you're able to ascertain that the group of three, after a bit of deliberation and remembrance during your 1 hour rest, that the three hooded figures are related to Baal. They are known as Nightblades, kind of like the assassins of Baal, and they get their notoriety and the respect of Baal by going out and doing murder in the name of the Lord of Murder. And then you contemplate over the man that is currently restrained, and after careful consideration and looking over the flail that's laying next to him, that has it's a gleaming white skull with some greenish glowing eyes coming out of it. You know that to be a necromite of Myrkul. And because Myrkul, being the Lord of Bones and and the god of death and necromancy, you know that they practice the arts in order to be able to raise dead. However, these necromites are still trying to prove their worth. They don't have any magic capability yet. That's why they are still using a skull flap.
Okay, that's awesome.
Just
So
sort of
I'll
back
share
where you
all
were-
that with everybody.
At the start, you were saying about the good religions,
Mm.
and you basically I take from that you can't commit a crime in the name of that religion. Is that what the rules were sort of?
So people are committing crimes in the name of their religion. You can see that already with the Dead Three, how they're obviously protecting this area, and you're being told that the Dead Three have something to do with what you're investing. So you know that people are doing it. What the people that govern Baldur's Gate say is that people are free to practice and study their religion and be a part of their religion as much as they want to be, but what they can't do is unlawful acts. If you do an unlawful act, then they have the right to arrest you or execute you or do something like that.
Yeah.
In fact, on that deliberation, you find out that this is what you're trying to do under the banner of the Flaming Fist. You are trying to bring justice to people who are followers of the Dead Three, who are doing unlawful things.
Cool.
Awesome. Are the flails? Would I know if the flails are anything special, or are they just a decorative flail? Like, do they have a magical property that these necromites use, or is it just all for show?
You understand that due to what necromites are trying to build themselves up to, as they have no magical capability, they therefore wield a flail that has no magical capability. It is in fact a flail that does bludgeon.
Cool.
So that's what's been revealed on the previous religion check that I said that I didn't know and had to read up on. So I've read. It will be up to new checks from here on.
Yeah, sure. That's great. Alright, so yeah, I'll relate that to everybody, and then I'll point out the flail and say to Hevel, that looks sick. If you picked it up. Although, would I know that would be an illegal act to be wielding that? Like, is that a mark of crime, I suppose? Like a mark of their cult?
Yeah, I'll get you to do a religion check.
Yeah, sure.
I think hitting someone in the head
15.
with a flail is fairly illegal.
I know
even-
hitting it. Yeah.
So you would understand that carrying weapons in the name of the god that you are following or practicing would be considered as a questionable act.
Yeah. Okay. So, I'll I'll take back what I said to Hevel and reconsider. I'll still say it, but then I'll pause and I'll reconsider and say, actually, that might be a bad idea, even though it looks sick.
You can conceal it.
Okay, so a bit of time has passed. There's been no interactions or any disturbances. However, Izzy, as you are directly in front of the necromite, you start to see him stir and wake up and start to move within the bonds and yells out, what's going on? Where is that spider?
Before we start, do we gain the benefits of a short rest during this time?
You do. So everyone complete a short rest, and the necromite is starting to stir.
A time to settle, Gretel.
So cool. So he's just coming good now. So I walk up next to him and start nudging him with my, giving him a little warning. You heard the stupid sorcerer. Settle.
Who are you to tell me to settle? What are you doing here?
I'm the one who put you down. Don't make me do it again.
It wasn't you, it was the damn spider.
I'd show you again, but I only have 2 uses per short rest, and I don't really want to burn it right now.
They're breaking the
You
fourth
wouldn't
wall.
understand these limitations.
What the hell is a short rest?
It's significantly shorter than a long one.
He starts coughing up some blood. What have you guys done to me? Why am I here?
You get talking. Why are you here? What's down that path?
What
Wait,
path
why
are
am
you
I
talking
putting on
about?
a voice?
Put in your nasty
You
interrogator
attacked
voice.
us. And
No
did a
one.
fairly.
Sorry, go ahead.
You attacked us, and you did a fairly good job attacking yourself.
No one must enter the sanctum. No one must go on.
Why not?
Not until it's all complete. Not until we manage to bring this town into the grave.
What's completed? Can you stop talking in riddles? We're trying to help you here, maybe.
No. The only one that can help me is the Lord of Bones. I give my life for miracle. And it's at this point, you hear him muttering some words.
Should we just stomp him?
And over that deliberation, you just see these ghostly claws start streaking across his face as it appears that he starts bleeding from where these marks were on, and he falls limpless. Well, his neck just falls over to the side while he's still restrained. You see that he's actually killed himself.
Give him another berry.
I give him another berry. Did he keep doing damage? Is he dead, or is he just dead?
Are you giving him a berry?
Yep, give him a berry.
Yeah? Alright, I give him a berry.
It has no effect.
Oh, god damn it. Down to 1 berry, guys.
I thought that was down to 0 berries.
Nah, it was 1.
'Cause I thought you had 2 left
You
and you gave him 1 to revive him, and then you've given another 1 to attempt to revive him.
Didn't you
I
make-
had 4 at the
Yeah.
start of the session. I gave 1 to the Bondi, gave 1 to him, and then I gave him another 1.
Okay.
Okay, so you've completed a short rest.
Yep.
You've seen the necromite of Merkel off himself in the name of the Lord of. Hopefully, looking to be reincarnated by one of his necromancer friends to be useful. However, it is now around about 2 a.m. What do you do?
We're going down the hole, aren't we? Let's do it.
We can go down and have a peek, but I think if we encounter anything too strong, or if we see a good amount of these cultists, that we should really reconsider and perhaps prepare for come back tomorrow.
You reckon we should go get there's that general dude at the start. If we don't, get it out of the way as quick as possible, he might be grumpy at us again.
Alright, he could be.
Devil's just gonna have to tank from the rear.
So, Thanesh, do you still have your temporary life, or does that expire after a certain period of time?
I shall find out. Duration's an hour, so that's gone.
Okay. All right. So, if you're looking to enter in via the secret door, I will get you guys to move on over and show me what you want to do.
Neville, did you manage to get much help out of that short rest?
Yeah, I took about 11.
Do you want to go first, or do you want me to just attempt to smack shit?
Before we go down, I will move the remaining 2 bodies and store them in that room.
Can we
Okay.
loot them? Is there anything on them?
Well, we'll do the movement first.
And 10 for strength
Yep.
check.
Yeah, that's still fine. Much the same, although you do find that the necromite is quite considerably heavy to move along than the night banes. And then, Izzy, I'll get you to do a perception check.
Ooh, Nat's 20.
That's 20.
What's the full number though? Checks, you should always say the full number.
Perception is 0, so 20.
Even if it's a natural 20, do they have to say the full number?
Rules is written, nat 20s only count for combat.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Oh.
But it's
Okay.
up to you, the DM. Like, a lot of people still reward nat 20s in a particular way. But they're not an automatic success like a combat strike is.
So, going over the necromite, you of course find the skull-headed flail, which is connected to quite a considerably thin chain with no point of really indicating a handle, so it's just the chain and the skull flail. And you see him decked out in this sort of astonishing silver, not actually made of silver, but the color silver that's been faded and dampened by some water in sections, and it's flayed and got holes towards the bottom. That's the robe that he's wearing. However, there's nothing of value on this person. And on the 3 night blades, as you are going through, you actually find the 3 daggers that they were using, so you can add 3 daggers to your inventory. But much to the same, they have this long, very long black cape, hooded cape that goes down all the way to their feet and swishes along the ground a bit, but no value, no.
Should we don all of those?
I'm agreeing.
Are they mangled beyond repair? Or
Doesn't matter, we can ditch them before we leave. It's more. Will it
Yeah.
get in?
you guys?
They're robes, are they?
So
Yeah.
there's 3 robes that are the Nightbane, and then there's the one set. So the Nightbane robes are hooded. It's like a hooded cloak more than, and then the Necromite is it's a silvery gold, very frayed sort of robe with no hood.
I point out, so that's a good idea, but then I point out how short Rock is. Not straight away. I say, perhaps that might not fit you.
I look at him, and I just storm off and start walking through the through the secret. I don't even put anything on, just bang straight through, just going down into the secret door.
Does anyone want a dagger? I've already got 2, and now I've got 5.
Oh, I'll take one.
Cool, you can have one.
So Nightbane and Necromite. So Necromite, this is the affiliation with the religion.
No, Necromite is the name of that person. Not that person's name. Sorry, the name of that mob. If you're looking them up, these are custom stat blocks that came out with this adventure, so they're not going to be a part of the monster guide or anything like that. Although you
No,
might be able to find
I'm just
information.
kind of noting like what's the context of
So
this?
Necromite of Miracle is just that rank of follower, and a Nightbane is the rank of Baal's follower in that case. So there may be more ranks associated. Hint, hint, wink, wink. There you go.
Nudge, nudge, say no more.
All right, so hopefully you guys can see, because it looks a bit dulled on mine, a section that has been revealed off to the left-hand side as you are progressing downstairs into the dungeon below the bathhouse. So as you enter, you are smelling this really pungent smell as you go through. As you get down closer, you can see that there is murky water flooding the bottom of this room that you're entering into, and it just stinks of rancid human waste.
I cover my nose and this is rank.
I'm glad I grabbed one of those robes, so I don't dirty my own clothes.
Is it dark or is it well lit?
So in this room currently, there is no light source. So for Thanesh, it is
Hard to see.
getting very hard to. You can hear bits of the water sort of sloshing around as Rock is getting a bit closer to it, and some dust is kicking down in there. But you can't currently see the three of you that have night vision. Then yes, you can see with your dark vision directly in front of you. So I'll reveal that area now. Also, what is Fip doing?
I'll snap my fingers and Fip will disappear and reappear at my shoulder, perched.
Very nice.
I can cast light.
That's what I was just about to do. I just reach up and I touch Fip and he starts glowing.
Ah.
Oh, yeah.
Still being grumpy at Dinesh. I just keep walking out as if fucking,
I call back. I say, look, I didn't mean it. I was just being practical.
So as you enter into the water, Rock, you actually find that the water manages to go up towards, I would estimate, your midriff, towards your belly button, as you find that this water is roughly about 2 feet deep, and it is quite hard for each of you to walk around in.
What is Rock's actual height?
Actually, what's a dwarf's normal height? Because I've said he's a little bit shorter than a normal dwarf. Like, he's a short dwarf.
I would
That's a good
say 5 feet.
It's hold on.
Pushing.
A dwarf, I think, is around 4'7", and if you're a bit shorter, that's why I'm saying midriff, because you're probably exactly 4 foot, I would estimate.
Yeah, we'll go 4 foot.
Oh no, it's up to his nose.
I'll add that to his stats. I can edit that in somewhere, can't I?
But by all intents and purposes, you've got the same movement as a dwarf. However, you notice that this water is obviously going up a bit higher on you because you are a bit shorter. And it is the same murky, sewery kind of water.
Can we see floaters?
Yes. And no, it is quite murky.
God damn it. What's 4 foot? No,
Yeah, so dwarves, they stand well under 5 foot tall. So yeah, probably 4.5 is about right. They're broad and compact and weigh as much as a human, standing nearly 2 feet taller. So you're probably, yeah, just under 4 foot maybe.
My tape measure is all metric. I can't tell you.
Okay, so you guys are entering into the water. Finish, is it still dark for you, or have you done something to change that?
I've made Fip glow.
Okay, so just make sure you bring him along with you as well.
Okay.
The token. So yep, so you can now see, I think light is what, 30 yard bright light, 30 feet. Sorry, 30 feet bright light, 30 feet dim light.
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
Oh, sorry, I will double check the spell, but I think you're right.
I think that's right. So as you enter into this,
Sorry,
into
it's
this
20
room,
and 20.
you also notice that that there is a number of wooden beams that it seem to be supporting the ceiling in this room, and you see that there is a small little room that goes off on your right hand side, so towards the eastern part of the room, and there's also a longer corridor that appears to be directly in front of you, although submerged in the water as you've come off down the stairs.
Where's the small room? Is it on the picture? Or...
It's off to the right.
Oh,
I'm going to leave Fip where he is, but until I say otherwise, he's sharing my space.
Yeah, that's fine. So as you just reveal a bit more of a much the same of the room that you were just in before. There is a wooden beam that's supporting the roof, but there's not much else that you can see at this point in time. That is, of course, off your passive perception.
Can
Well,
I
it doesn't
use?
sound that interesting to me, so I'd probably walk out.
Sorry, Hevel?
It doesn't sound that interesting to me, so I'd probably walk out.
Can I use Mage Hand to search the bottom?
Yeah, of course. Don't know what kind of check to do for that.
Which reminds me, while you're looking that up, when we search for things, I think we have to use investigation and not perception. Perception
Yep.
is for spotting people, investigations for things. I think.
If you're trying to spot things on walls, that's perception. If you're trying to work stuff out or utilize clues and such, I always thought that was investigation.
In
because
this
you-
case,
Sorry?
in this case, I'm feeling for things. So would that be investigation?
Not
Can you-
I don't
Can
think
you
use,
pass through feel, though?
Not with Mage Hand, no. You can make it
the-
interact with something, but you can't. It doesn't give you any sensory effects back.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, you can't get any sort of... You can get it to manipulate with something, but if you can't see what you want it to manipulate with, you're not going to be able to do it.
Alright.
Yep.
I ask Rock, do you want to search the water?
No. Want to smash.
I hesitantly go in. And I say,
As
"Ew."
Rock, as Rock's, going through, he's pretending like the water's not affecting him at all. He's just walking, pretending like he doesn't even, just wading through shit, getting it in his beard.
Is this water flowing? Sorry if you said that earlier, or is it still?
Do a perception check.
5.
So you can hear a little bit of movement around the water. However, you don't feel any current underneath, but you can't tell whether there is any movement due to the light that you've got going on and how murky the water is. From the top of it, looks relatively still.
Yeah, cool. Since I can't really see, I'm probably going to hang towards the back of the group. I know I've got FIP, but I can't see very far.
Okay.
So who's moving first? Who wants to go down the corridor?
I'll go down the corridor.
I'll go third.
I'll go second, but only because I couldn't get there first because I was struggling too hard to get to the water.
As you move around as a group, you see much of the same of this narrow hallway that you're walking through, but you come across a set of stairs that is curving off towards the right, that is going to raise you out of the water.
As we approach the stairs, are there any like levers or buttons or anything that could be used to that effect on the walls?
Do an investigation check for me, please.
Ah, 16.
So as you're walking past and you're feeling around, you can see some empty holders for torches. You also see the wooden beam that's helping support the roof as you move along. However, there is no levers or buttons that you can find, and even when grabbing on or running your hands past the iron torch holsters, you feel no movement or that they have no impact. Okay, Hevel, as you rear around the you see another hallway built much similar, although not covered in water, and in front of you is a door, and it is closed. Now, just out of curiosity, I've revealed that whole hallway. You guys can see it on your screen?
Yep.
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 Ah, okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Daddy.
No worries. So I was slightly wrong there.
It's all good.
Alright, well, I try and open the door.
I use prestidigitation to clean the crap off of me.
Okay, as you approach the door, Hevel, you notice on it that it actually bears a carving of Baal.
What's my name?
Yeah, the chaotic evil god of murder.
Is that who is your god? Is that actually Bob?
No, my god is Sunni.
Suppose we should know that. Wait, do I? No, I don't need a god.
I ask Easy to clean me up too.
Alright, well, before we open this door that has
I
the
do.
Lord of Murder's symbol on it, is there anyone who wants to say anything or do anything?
I'm good.
Sounds like I open it.
I kind of give you a push. I'm eager to get in. Still a bit angry about being called a short ass.
Okay. You push your hand on the door. It opens up freely.
What do I see?
So as you poke your head through the door, you see a hexagonal room in front of you that has an open doorway on your right hand side, and then two more doors, one directly in front of you and one to your left hand side.
This looks like a trap. It's a death room. What's through the open door?
As
I
you
quietly look through the open door.
So you reveal another hallway, built very similar to the one that you were in before, with a set of sharp stairs going downwards into some more murky water.
Sewers, nah. Don't like sewers. Let's go for the other door.
I
agree.
I say just hold up just a second, and I touch Fip again, and he stops glowing. And instead I make my staff glow with light, and I send Fip down the open corridor to have a look.
Okay.
Trying to be quiet.
And Fip, just remind me, has dark vision as well? I suppose
He does,
an hour.
and he has 120 feet, I think, of dark vision.
Okay.
I'll just check.
That's great. Can I get a pet owl too?
Dark vision, 120 feet. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. So, so as you fly Fip down that corridor, I'll get you to make a perception check for him, please.
Uh, 18.
As he flies down, and I'm guessing you're looking through his eyes at this point.
Yep.
Okay. As you fly him down into the sort of the cross section there, you see on the left-hand side a tapestry that's hung. It's about 5 foot wide, 7 foot tall tapestry. It's depicting a grisly scene of 4 faceless figures ripping apart a 5th figure who is screaming. And then towards your right, you look down and you see a bit more open room with some beams that are holding it up.
Okay. Looks rather gruesome.
It's a secret.
I'll just perch Fip on a wall or on one of the beams or something out of the water that he can find, and I'll just tell everyone what I see.
So you're entering in the room with Fip?
Not at the moment. I'm just sort of passing my consciousness back and just explaining to everyone what Fip sees.
Okay, so just in terms of perching, so there's a wooden beam here. That's that sort of dark figure. Yep.
So I'll move Fip there, and I'll have, if he comes across any danger, I'm going to immediately send him to the pocket dimension.
Okay.
To try and avoid it.
So as Fip enters the room, you see clearly with him 3 wooden beams that brace the ceiling of this flooded chamber,
Yep.
which features a stone altar covered in entrails in the north. Hanging on the wall above the altar is a 3-foot tall steel mask cast in the form of a frowning human skull.
Frown.
Cursed mask. Put it on.
It's 3 foot. It's like nearly the size of a rock.
You put a rock in,
Rock,
in
put
it.
it on.
It'll make you big. So you get, come out of consciousness of Fip and just explain that, hey, there's an altar there filled with the guts of some poor soul and this, massive, frowning skull.
This is creeping me out. What if we actually bow? What do we do?
Actually, Thanesh, I'll get you to do a religion check for me as well, please.
14.
You recall that mask is depicting the face of
Of who, sorry? You cut out.
Baal.
Okay. And I'll relate that to everyone.
Ew, disgusting. I wonder how much we'd get for it.
You also notice with Fip that there is an opening off towards the northwest corner of...
Yeah. So I'm going to go back into Fip's consciousness. I tell everyone I'm going to keep exploring this space. Just sit tight. And I'll move Fip up. Let's have a look.
Okay. You see another long hallway that is submerged in... but there looks to be an opening off towards Fip's left, or the south, about halfway along.
So I'll keep you moving along.
As Fip enters into this room, he notices that there is a floating object in the water.
A floating object.
Yes.
It's more feces.
So I'd like Fip to have a bit more of a look at it. Just
Okay.
try and identify what it is.
Yeah. So I'll get you to do a perception check for me, please.
10.
Hang on. Why is it not working? You can see the token, can you?
I can see the token.
Yep. Okay. So you can see that floating face down in the middle of this room is the bloated corpse of a shirtless male human that has a number of knife wounds in his back.
That sounds gruesome. I will keep Fit moving along.
Yep. The final part looks to be dead ends for Fip. It's
Okay.
just a slightly larger opening here that was off to the, and you see at the end of the hallway it appears to be dead ends.
Okay, so I'll send Fip to the pocket dimension.
Yeah.
And then I'll just explain to everyone, hey, look, this corridor hooks around further. It looks like it's all in the same water that what we've just waded through. And there's a dead body face down in the water with a bucketload of stab wounds. Or what looks to be a dead body.
I think you should go investigate further. You do it. I don't want to get dirty.
I don't see all that well. I feel safer if one of you guys would go first. But I'll follow.
You know there's nothing there. Just turn your light on.
My light is on. My staff
You're
is
a
glowing.
big boy, remember? Eh? Big boy, a bit scared. I start walking up down there.
Okay, so you've all entered into the room with the altar. Very much what Thanesh has relayed to you is what meets your eye, is the altar that has been covered in entrails, and the 3-foot mask that is the visage of Baal in front of you.
I touch the Baal mask. Just get a feel.
Okay. Roll an investigation check for me, please.
$16.
So you run your fingers across it, and you just find that it is well crafted, accurately depicts what you understand Baal to be based off what Thanesh has told you, and nothing happens to your touch.
Can I push it? Does it move?
As you attempt to push it, you realize that it is fastened securely to the wall.
Should we deface it?
I was going to say, as he's doing that, I'd like to find a nugget in the painting back here. I'd like to draw on it and make it look like, shit.
So you're picking up someone's floating nugget.
Well,
And-
yeah. I got nothing else on hand to deface something with. I'm going to use shit.
You got a dagger, cut a hole in it.
Can
Just
you
tear at it.
please, now just to confirm, everyone, your characters are where they are?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm
Mine's
just by
defacing
the
that
edge.
picture of the stabbings.
Can you please roll a Constitution saving throw for me?
I'm fucking die right now, aren't I?
You're gonna get poisoned from handling somebody's floating turd.
Please have a good constitution. +2. 7. But if it matters, I have advantage against poison.
So as you rummage around in the water for a big floaty turd and you find one that suitably fits in your hands, and as you bring it forward to touch onto the tapestry, you feel this sensation, and as you see these cloudless spores just all over your face from behind the tapestry, and you must hang on, let me do this. No, not them, this one. You take 11 poison damage.
Wait, so I get advantage then?
Uh,
Against poison.
So if you're resistant to poison, then you take half damage. So you
I thought
take.
the advantage, because I have advantage on poison for my, it says it under my saving throw. Does that mean?
Rock. You have defenses poison. Advantage against poison.
I don't know. It's up to you, I guess.
I thought it was because you just have resistant to poison, you take half damage.
He's got both.
So
Okay.
so for a Constitution, he has advantage on the saving throw if it's trying to resist poison.
Okay, all right. Roll another one.
Whew, Cassandra's suck dick. Ah, that ain't better. 6 + 2, 8. Yeah.
So you feel these spores start sucking in as you're taking a bit of a laugh while you're drawing on this tapestry with this poo, and based on the breaths as you're taking in during your cackles, you breathe in the spores deep into your lungs, and due to your resistance, you still manage to take 5 poison damage, and you are currently poisoned for 1 minute.
This is shit.
Now,
I tell everyone to stop breathing.
okay. While this is going on, you're continuing to cough. For the instance of this 1 minute, you are currently in combat with these spores, and at the end of each turn, we're going to be working turns here. You're going to be taking some poison damage, and you'll be attempting to resist the poison as well.
All right. From what I can understand, did I just get that from playing with the nugget, or did I get that from
You got it from the tapestry.
drawing? I'm fairly sure it's the tapestry.
Drawing.
Hang on, let me just quickly read.
If it has, someone tries to deface this with poo. What happens?
So I'll get you to do an investigation check for me.
Oh, fuck. It's a 1. 1 + 1. I got a 2.
You can neither tell where that has come from. However, you can tell that based on what you've inhaled, it is spores of some kind.
Alright.
Now, where I am, would I have a chance to have noticed what Rock was doing?
No.
Okay.
Just due to the way that the canvas is inlaid
That's
in
okay.
that sort of, I'll say that you don't currently have line of sight, especially because the light won't really be penetrating that way for you as well.
Would I have
okay.
seen it?
Uh,
Watching-
so yes, you can make an investigation check.
12.
So you notice that as you were laughing along with Rock as he's picked up this turd to start, you see as he's made contact with the tapestry, this yellow mold has reached around from behind and just shot into his face. These spores. Okay. Yep.
I'm wondering, yeah, I'll just sort of yell it, well, not yell it, but say it loudly, that crap, Rock's been poisoned.
Okay, Rock, I'll get you. You're currently going to take 1 more poison damage, and I'll get you to make a Constitution saving throw with advantage.
Shit. 7 was my highest.
Okay. You still find yourself coughing and hacking.
Shit.
Okay.
So I assume coughing and hacking means that I can't take a deep breath and dunk myself. Or that'd be a really stupid thing to do, right?
Nothing's stopping you from taking a deep breath.
Except my coughing, which I cough. Alright. I just Hail Mary this shit and, like, in between coughs, say, save me. Like, pull me up if I don't come up, and dunk myself under the water to try and, wash this shit up.
Okay. As you dunk yourself under and you're holding under there for a few seconds.
Yeah, just doing the little rubbing
Can-
shit into my face, literally.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to touch him, I also try and use prestidigitation to clean him a little bit as well.
Okay. I'll get you to take another point of poison damage. And you find that the water has had no effect because you've in fact inhaled the spores into your lungs. I'll get you to make another Constitution saving throw with advantage.
God damn it.
First character death. Poison from poo.
4. That's within. I don't know what's happening. There was a 1 and a 2. Alright?
Freaking
They
jail
worked
that
it out.
die. Get rid of it. Burn it.
Okay,
I do have another. I'm gonna get that out.
so we're still going through turns. So you're still currently poisoned at this point in time. What now do you want to do, Rock? And anyone else, feel free to chime in. He is just trying to
I
survive his
hear
poison.
over the last 18 seconds of Rock just coughing and spluttering his lungs out. I turn back around and say, hey, you alright? And then I'll turn to Hevel and say, Rock doesn't seem so good. Do you want to have a look at him?
I do.
don't know poisons. How did he get poisoned? Did
We don't know
anyone
he's
see what
poisoned
happened?
yet. We just hear him just coughing madly like he's throwing his guts up.
He touched the tapestry. I saw it. I used Mage Hand to do the only thing I can do and pat him on the back.
I go over to the tapestry and have a closer look.
Okay. Do an investigation check for me, please.
Carefully.
Don't touch it.
10.
Okay, so describe how you're investigating it for me, please. You said carefully.
I walk over and I'm not touching it, but I'm observing it. If it's tapestry that's hanging, so I might sort of go off to the side, kind of around the corner of it, see if there's anything behind it.
So you looking very carefully and being very careful to not touch it. You also observe the yellow mold sitting behind the tapestry that Izzy had noticed before.
And I'm like, guys, there's like some sort of mold behind here.
I'll
Rob,
come and
did you
join.
touch this?
I'm going to shoot a firebolt at the tapestry and attempt to burn the mold and the tapestry in one go. Does it look dry?
Goodbye, Rock.
So the tapestry that you investigated with Fip, hang on. You saw that it was quite dry as it hung above the water.
Alright.
Now roll to hit with your firebolt.
17.
So that hits roll damage.
Freezing it would have been a better idea.
5.
So as you shoot this fire, making sure to avoid Rock, who's still coughing in front of you, and Hevel, as you're all tightly enclosed, but you manage to find a gap to shoot it directly onto the tapestry. You find that the dry tapestry is actually lit up quite instantly, and you see the yellow mold just dissipate from behind. It is gone.
So did it seem to like just burn away with the flame? Or
Yes. You could tell that it was instantly disintegrated by the flames.
All right, Rock, we have to set you on fire.
Wait, am I still dying?
Yeah, so it's now back around to you, and you take 2 poison damage, and now I'll get you to do a Constitution saving throw with advantage.
Come on, you died and you save.
It's these hard to read ones. Shit, is that a fucking... What is that? That could be a 4 or... Oh no, I think it's the 20. Yeah, it's the 20. I got a 20. Plus 2, 22.
So with that final hack, you felt it burn on the way out, but you managed to cough up a bunch of mucus that had come inside you, and it's expelled from your system. While you feel it's a bit hard to breathe and you feel a bit worn away from the inside, you can tell that it is now out of your system.
I eat my remaining good berry.
I thought you said poop berry there for a second.
There's a nugget of truth in that.
All right, good. I want to have a look at that body that's... Yeah, what...
Alright, I'll just sort of explain. It's just around the corner to the left. And I'll follow.
All right. So as you get to the body, just describe to me what you're doing.
I walk over to the body and I sort of put my hand onto the back and I turn it over and have a look, see if anything jumps out at me. If they've got pockets, I'll probably look at that, looking for any identifying.
As you're rummaging through, I'll just say, careful for yellow mold.
Being mindful of yellow mold.
Sorry about that. So I'll get you to do a medicine check for me first.
Eight.
Okay. And then I'll also get you to do an investigation check for the other parts that you're looking at.
7.
So what you can ascertain from looking at the body is that you can tell that this person has died from the stab wounds that are in their back. However, you can't tell how long that body has been there. It's quite pale and quite bloated, but you just can't ascertain as to how long it's been like this. As you're rummaging through the pockets, you manage to find just a piece of paper that has one name on it, his skull.
How do you spell it?
Hiskaal.
And hear nothing but silence. I message Thanesh. What's going on?
Just make a note. I also want to check the body. I want to see if its stomach is sort of carved out or if its entrails have been removed.
Okay. Do an investigation check for me, please.
Oh, that one's okay. 18.
Okay. So his stomach is completely intact. What you can tell, much the same as what Hevel found out, is that this person has died from the stab wounds on their back. However, you do notice that on the clothing that he's still wearing, on the pants, it looks very similar to. Actually, no, sorry, wrong one. What you do notice from the clothing is that yes, it is very similar to the Nightbane in terms of the pants of what they were wearing upstairs. From that, you ascertain that this was possibly a worshipper at some point.
Okay. I'll explain that to everybody. And say, this guy looks like one of their own.
Is there anything to indicate that it was a struggle, or did he willingly sacrifice himself?
It was the tapestry. We burned it, so now we can't.
Yeah, so I'll get you to roll an investigation check as well.
God damn it. Did I say that? 10.
10? Okay.
No, you didn't say.
While there's no clear indications of bruising or binding or anything like that to his limbs, what you can ascertain by how many stab wounds there are in the back and their locations, that this was not a willing death.
Cool.
Not a sacrifice.
Not a
Oh, well,
sacrifice.
could be a sacrifice, but not a willing sacrifice.
I'm going to check out this rubble on this wall here and
Sure.
see what might have collapsed or just what can I see?
Okay, yeah, do a perception check for me.
7.
So you just see what appears to be just some rubble from the walls and the roof. It does appear to be quite solid from behind where the rubble is. You can tell that the rubble is limestone, which upon closer inspection appears to be what the rest of the walls and the roofs are made out of as well.
I'll go back and join up with Izzy. And move back into that center room and wait for everybody else.
Okay. The rest of you guys, what are you doing?
Follow.
Yeah, I'm done in here.
Okay.
Pick another door. I vote south.
Give it a push then.
Oh.
I give it a push.
So I'll actually just get each of you to do a religion check for me, please.
21.
13.
12.
17.
Oh, look at you, you all knowing you go. So on closer inspection of the two doors that are currently closed, you see that they also depict a picture very much like the one that you and so Thanesh, you accurately identify that the south door that you're currently looking at, it bears a carving of Merkle, and then to the east, the eastern door bears the carving of Bane.
So from your description, Bane was the god of pain. Was that?
No, I need to go back.
Bane was
Sorry.
tyranny.
Bane, yeah, is the evil god of tyranny.
Tyranny.
Baal, the one that you already entered, is the evil god of murder, and the south door Merkle is the lord of bones and god of necromancy.
It appears we're in the cult's dressing room.
Okay.
And Baal likes to be underwater.
So Hevel, as you approach the door and put your hand on it, you find that it is open and swings open freely.
Alright, cool. What do I see?
Okay.
Oh shit.
As you enter, lying on the floor in the otherwise empty room are the pale bodies of 3 humans in filthy black robes, arranged in a triangular formation. A lit torch lies between them. A rough-hewn staircase to the left leads down to another torch-lit chamber.
I check the bodies, have a look at them, see what looks like happened to them, and check for any items on.
So
Could you do an Sorry?
do they appear dead?
So Hevel, I will get you to do an insight check as you're the one that's entered the room.
15.
So you determine, from watching carefully, that these are actually live necromites of Merkle. And as you step forward into the room closer towards the torch, they leap up, ready to attack you. I'll get you to roll him.
So, hello, brothers.
They say, "We're expecting no brothers here." And as they stand up, they reveal the skull-headed flails that you've seen from one of their kin before. I'll get you to all roll initiation, please.
Nice.
Taking it to Bondi would have blended in.
I rolled a 6. We'll be back in a sec.
I too rolled a 6.
4.
16.
What's Darty's initiative?
I think he said something low.
it said
6. It's
No,
6
but
as
what's
well.
his actual plus to it? Because it decides who goes first when it's a draw.
Oh, okay. Let me tell you. So you at Rock, you have a +2 initiative. Dinesh has a +3, so he'll be going before you.
Damn it. Stupid.
Okay. This is gonna be fun. So the Necromites will actually be going first. The first one, which is directly on your right, he's the one that sort of catches you the most by surprise. And as he pulls out his skull flail, he takes a swing at you with it, with a 13.
AC is 18.
Okay, so as you're sort of expecting it to come through, you see this skull coming towards you, and you manage to bash it away with your right. The next necromite, which is the one on your, he takes a step next to you, and likewise winds up his skull flail. And does now remind me? Sorry, out of character. Do ties hit?
No.
No.
I remember. I think they do.
I think it's no.
We can say it's no.
So who wins ties? Attack rolls. The attack.
When the attack meets the armor, attack hits.
Okay, there you go. Attacker. So he manages to club as you're distracted by the other swing, and he hits you. Which die? And he contacts you for 5 bludgeoning damage.
Oh, hold on.
Oh.
Oh no, I was correct. Yeah, sorry, I was correct.
Yep. So he contacts you for 5 bludgeoning damage as it cocks you in the center of your chest plate. And then the third Michael, necromite of Merkel, sees that you are being supported and lines up with you, Thanesh, as you see his hands come together, and he's using one of the spells that he's been practicing.
Oh, this one knows a bit of magic.
And 11?
Now.
Mhm.
I'm going to use my reaction to increase my armor class by 2. So my armor class is 13.
Okay. Is that one of your slots, or is that a
That's
thing?
a warcaster thing.
Okay. Does that burn a spell slot? Or not?
I can only cast cantrips on my next turn.
All right. So, as you see this attack coming through, you're quite surprised by the fact that this necromite is able to use some magic, but you quickly, with your reaction, manage to get your armor class up as you feel these claws start to move towards you, but don't quite make contact thanks to your magic. Evel, it is your turn.
One sec. I will. I'm going to step into here, and that puts them all within 5 feet. And then I'm going to cast Word of Radiance.
Would he get hit twice for moving?
It's only when you leave the 5 feet radius, isn't it, for an attack of?
It is, yes. So it's only when you leave, rules is written. But the way we played our last campaign was if you left any square, you provoked it. That was a house rule.
Okay. I am going to say that he hasn't left the 5-yard radius, so he's still free to do that movement.
Cool.
Yeah, I have a feeling we had an argument. And
There was a reason as to why I did what I did. And we'll talk about it at the end of the game if you want, rather than now.
Yeah. And then I cast Word.
Okay.
Which means that each creature of your choice that you can see in range must succeed on a Constitution saving throw or take 1d6 damage.
Okay. Must take. Okay. All right.
So it says attack save 13.
So Constitution saving. All right. So 1 saves, 2 do not. So we'll say that the one directly in front of you saves, but the other 2 behind you are caught off guard, not expecting attack to come from behind, and they both take the 1d6 damage.
Yep. So the first one takes 3 damage, and the second one takes 6 damage.
Okay, so as you do your word of radiance around you, you feel the blast come backwards and manage to push these two and catch them off guard as this radiant damage just bursts from inside them. However, they're still standing ready to attack. It is Thanish's turn.
Okay. The one that cast whatever spell at me, I'm going to look at him and create a large flame that appears on his space.
Okay.
He needs to make a Dex 12 saving throw.
Natural 20.
Bugger.
So he must take a Dex saving throw or take fire damage. The crease also must make a saving throw when it moves. So the bonfire still exists, but are we saying that he moves?
Maybe he's just standing on the edge of that particular space and it's not burning it.
Okay. I'll say because of the natural 20, he anticipates the fire as you guys are sort of locked into this magical duel, and he does take a leap to his right just as he feels the flames cackle beneath him, and he just ducks off towards the left into the southeastern corner of the room. What else are you doing for your turn?
You should move.
Hey, hop out of the way.
Yes.
Alright, I'll take a step to the side up against the wall. Not sure, is that a legal space for me to go in? Or I can go up to that one.
I'll say it can be. You can flatten yourself up against the wall, try and use it as a bit of cover. Okay, it is Rock's turn.
So Rock starts running down here, and so his aim is to get to here, and halfway along, he goes full fucking bear form and turns into a brown bear.
Okay.
Do you want the lengthy?
Yes, please.
I'm frightened and I go,
Starts like grumbling and stuff as he goes.
Yeah. Okay. Now,
People
what do you do?
guys it too. I bite the guy to the wheat picks to the west.
Now, just to clarify, you can attack the same turn that you use your metamorph.
Yes, because it's now a bonus action for me.
Okay. All right.
Technically, what I'm about to do is I'm going to use multi-attack as my action. Just so you know. My first one, I am going to bite the guy on my left.
Yep.
Actually, is he the one that took 6 damage?
One.
The one that got hit harder.
The one that took
less.
Yeah, so the one that took more damage is on your left hand. As you look.
I numbs him a little bit with the bite.
Okay. Yep. Roll to hit.
What do I roll to hit with this guy?
D20.
+6. Holy shit. 19.
That hits. Roll damage.
Uh, 6 piercing damage.
So as you're running in through and you turn into a bear, and as you skirt the corner, you manage to grab on with your jaws on the arms of the necromite. Sorry. As you flail him around, you can see the blood pouring out from his arm underneath the robes. However, while very bloodied and struggling, he is still up and breathing.
Cool. While holding on with, I'm biting him, I then rip at him with my claws.
Okay, roll to hit.
18.
That hits. Roll damage.
Uh, 9 slashing damage.
So as you're biting on with that arm holding on, you manage to reach up with your left paw and make contact with the shoulder of the necromite. And as the sheer force from the claws come down onto it, you rip the arm clean off the necromite as you've still got his arm in your jaws. You see him die right in front of your eyes from both the blood loss and the sheer terror of losing his arm as he falls motionless onto the floor, actually dead this time.
Good rock.
Nice.
Okay, Izzy, it's your turn.
I will use Chaos Bolt on the bottom. I assume that's line of sight.
Yep, that's line of sight. So roll to hit.
23.
That hits, roll damage.
So what do I roll? 2d8 plus 1d6.
I've just got the
First
color
4,
dot on my character just to
2,
recognize concentration.
4. And it is... I'll make it cold damage.
Mhm.
It takes what? 4 to 4, that's 10.
So it takes 10 cold damage. Okay, so you see that this expert jump that has been made by the necromite as he's moved away from the bonfire. And while he's landed sure-footed, he's still got his eye on the corner that Thanesh had hidden around, and he doesn't see this chaos bolt that's come directly towards his face. Seems to be shrouded in. You can see that he's been hit, and there's ice shards somewhat sticking into his chest. However, he's still... anything else for your turn?
No, I think I'm okay.
Okay. Fib, what are you having Fib do? Or is he still...
He's in his
hidden
pocket dimension, so he's doing nothing.
All right. So it rolls back around. The necromite that's just been hit by the chaos bolts is going to look towards him and sees that you've taken a bit of damage from his friend before, and he's going to look to try and finish you off as he swings around with his skull flail. But much like the necromite earlier, he takes a swing, but you're able to expertly time it as it comes through, and you bat it away with the hilt of your mace that you hold.
Phew.
Now the necromite that's behind you, he's seen this bear come in and rip off the arm of his friend. In sheer terror, he's actually going to look to book it away. Now, because Rock has his back face, he doesn't get an attack of opportunity, does he?
It's any space that's close, I believe.
Okay. All right, so roll an attack of opportunity.
Oh, me?
Yep, Rock.
No, what attack am I doing?
Sorry.
So do I just...
It is attack of opportunity when a hostile creature that you can see moves out of your reach. So you need to decide if.
Oh, yeah, needs to see. Okay, so he hasn't seen. So he's come on down the stairs. Now I will, because you've entered the room, and he's come back to what looks to be the edge of a sarcophagus. And he still has vision on you, Rock, and he comes forward, much with the same spell that Thanesh noticed before, and attacks you with a 17.
It's a hit.
And you feel, much like the claws that you felt on the necromite in front of you, you feel a very similar attack coming across your own shoulder, although there feels to be a bit of necrotic to it. And you take 8 damage, 8 necrotic damage from the claws as they're streaked across your arm and then onto your back.
Cool.
Okay, it's come back around to Hevel's turn.
Um, well, I think I might chase down this other guy and smack him with my mace.
Is this guy in front of you dead?
Okay,
No.
so as
Oh,
you
that would trigger an attack, wouldn't it?
It would.
Well, no. Then I'm not going to do that. I'm gonna hit this guy with my.
okay, roll to attack.
Nine.
So as you swing with your mace following up after you've managed to bat away his skull, you see that the Necromite is just as agile as you are with his weapon and manages to swing his flail around the tip of your mace and pull it away. You manage to hold grip of your mace, but you notice that you've not made any contact with him.
No.
Anything else for your turn?
No.
Okay, Danish, it is your turn.
Alright, so I'm going to move into this space now, following Rock. And the Necromite that I can see, I'm going to throw a firebolt at it.
Okay, roll to hit.
Uh, 15.
Okay, that hits. Roll damage.
3.
3. So you see where he's been hit by Izzy's Chaos Bolt, and you see the ice shards protruding out of his chest. You follow up with a Firebolt directly into the same area, and it manages to melt away the ice shards and follow through with a nice burst that melts away at the inside of him. As you see him thrown back in towards the wall and falls down limp and lifeless.
Nice. With him dead, I will move a little bit further. And I will dismiss the bonfire.
Okay. Your concentration ends on the bonfire and it dwindles. There is still light in the room from the torch. Now, Rocket, is your turn.
My staff is still... Actually... yeah, I might have dismissed that when I cast the bonfire. Never mind.
Is it a light? Doesn't
No,
say
it's just...
concentration.
No, it's not concentration, so my staff is still glowing.
Okay, good. Yep, Rocket, is your turn.
I go bundling down the stairs and attempt to bite and then thrash this guy.
Roll to hit on the bite.
Shit, 11 plus 6, 17.
That hits. Roll damage on the bite.
Ooh, that's huge. 12.
Okay, so as you turn around and you're reeling from the pain that you received from this man clawing at you with his necrotic spell, you seek revenge instantly. As you pound down, you actually jump sort of from the bottom of the bottom step, but manage to land with your jaws wrapped tightly around the skull of the necromite. And as you clamp down, you feel the neck snap and necromite limpless in your jaws.
Yeah, stupid necromite.
What else does he see?
As you enter into the room, you reveal a crumbled room with a tomb. Now, give me a sec. So as you enter, you can tell that there's a partially collapsed crypt This chamber has been, it's collapsed around on the edges, and there's a sarcophagus that looks to be open, although crumbly around. That as you guys wait around, you see no other action coming from anywhere else. You feel as if the combat is over.
I use Mage Hand to pat them up. Oh, who's a good giant bear? Who's a good giant bear?
I get up on my back legs and just, look menacingly at Dinesh.
Like, don't look at me. I don't do that.
Nick,
Don't be short. Now I'm large and a bear.
I'm curious. Do you still comprehend the languages? Because I know that the bear doesn't understand a language, but do you?
I keep the mind, so I think it says the intelligence, and I keep everything but strength and dex, I think.
Okay.
Or is it strength and constitution? I'll hunt it down.
It's probably all three: strength, dex, constitution. I'd say you'd maintain your intelligence and wisdom and perception.
Yeah, it's my mind with its body.
Okay, cool.
Can you speak in wild shape form?
In Baronese.
I don't know. That sounds like a Google to me.
Okay. Now what do you do?
I'll come down and examine the crypt, looking for any text or runes or anything that might identify whose crypt this was.
I'll assist.
Okay.
I cannot speak. I am limited to the capabilities of my beast. I can definitely understand. And it says that a DM may rule that a higher level druid can figure it out. But
All right.
Could I message you and hear what you're thinking?
Probably still need to be able to whisper in the language.
Okay.
So roll an investigation check with advantage.
Oh, I rolled good. Hold on. Investigation 21.
So you search around the sarcophagus. However, you can't see any sort of identifying information on the sides or ends. You feel that there might have been some identifying information on the lid of the sarcophagus. However, since that has been reduced to rubble, none of it is comprehensible. You see within the crypt, within the sarcophagus, there is a humanoid bones that exist in there. They've been decomposed for a very long time, so it is just the bones that is left there. But you see that there's some pile of dust that looks to be relatively new. It looks as if it's been shifted there on purpose. And as you scrounge around, you actually find 3 books that are in there.
Alright, I'll take the books and I'll look through them. Do I recognize the language that it's written in? I can speak Common, Draconic, and Elvish currently.
Okay. I'll get you to do another investigation check for me, please.
12.
You can tell that these are 3 different spell books. You understand the languages that are on. You can't tell who they used to belong to. The first spell book is bound in red leather. The second spell book has the personal rune of a previous owner that is burned into it on its undercover, but you do not know or identify the rune. And the third spell book is bound in scaly black reptile hide.
Okay. Looking through it, can I recognize any of the spells within the spell books?
Yes, you do. So in the first spell book, which is the red leather one, it has the following spells: Burning Hands, Detect Magic, Disguise Self, Fog Cloud, Ray of Sickness, Silent Image. The second spellbook contains Charm Person, Find Familiar, Identify, Magic Missile, and Sleep. And the third spell book is Cloud of Daggers, Dark Vision, Detect Magic, Featherfall, Mage Armor, Magic Missile, and Tasha's Hideous Laughter.
Wow. I like. Okay. I tell everyone, guys, these are the spell books. I can use these, and I'll carefully pocket them.
I'll allow it.
He's not going to share it with his fellow wizard.
No, sorcerer can't use it.
No,
Can't he?
Nope.
I just know magic. I don't need no books.
Ah, you're a smart one. Okay, what do you do now?
Loot the bodies.
Okay, I'll get you to do a perception check for me, please.
3.
So
No, sorry, 2. I don't have any perception.
you're a terrible sorcerer. So as you go through the bodies and you rummage through, much like the necromant that you saw in the above bathhouse, they only appear to be carrying their flails.
Shall we pick up a flail? We might need them for the next room.
I'm actually going. These flails are just a chain, right? There's no handle on them.
It's just a bare chain, and then at one end is a white skull.
I'm going to pick one up.
Just add a flail. I don't think there's a flail as an item type, is there? Might be.
Could you just add a normal
A flail should be
then?
an item type, yeah.
Yeah, if there is a... Yes, just add a common flail to your inventory. And if each of you want to pick one up, although I will note that the one that was up top has been left with the body, so there is only 3 flails.
I cannot pick them up anyway.
You casually paw at one of the flails on the ground and try and spin it on your claw, but you can't seem to get a good grip. Dance, bear, dance.
Very good.
Was this room one for Bane or for...
This was the Merkel's room.
The southern door, yes, this is the one that had Merkel.
Before we leave, I'm just going to look around the room. Is there anything on the walls or the ceiling or anything that might identify whose crypt this was? I specifically checked the tomb, but what about the room?
Yeah, do a perception check for me, please.
17.
Yep. While you look around, unfortunately, there is no identifying marks. You can see that quite a lot of the original design of this room has collapsed in. You would have expected this room to be quite a lot bigger and a lot more expertly made out, given that there was someone buried here. However, there is nothing that you can see that identifies the owner of the tomb.
All right. All right. Well, I'll go back out to the junction and.
As he was investigating that, I'd like to use the bear's keen sense of smell to sniff this door and sniff at the edges to see if I could tell if anyone's recently been in or out, or if there'd be someone in. I essentially get advantage on perception checks that rely on smell.
Okay, yep. So roll a perception check with advantage.
18.
So as you sniff around, you can tell that this door was used by a similar smell that you noticed up in the bathhouse. So what you can understand is that the ones that came up into the bathhouse had to have used this door at some point in recent time to get up there and do their work. You understand that smell to belong to Nightbane.
Cool. There's no point in me knowing that because I can't tell them. Well, I guess knowing that, I kind of make myself look cuddly and not aggressive as I prepare or wait for them and then prepare to open the door.
Okay. Now, I'll get each of you, hang on,
Oh, what's our XP so far?
Yeah, 1 sec. I'm sorting that out.
Nice.
Just point out,
Each-
it's almost 10, so are we
Yeah,
wanting to push on? Or are we parking, pulling the brakes?
I'm good to push on myself. It's up to you guys.
I can do anything. Nothing matters anymore.
I guess if everyone else wants to.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, I don't mind, like, call on it. Don't, just because I can.
Oh, I'm happy to see what's in the next room.
We're pushing on. All right. XP, 75 XP each.
Do we get XP for killing the tapestry trap?
No.
No, that's okay. I know that in one of the in the Lost Mine, it did award XP for navigating the traps.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll so yeah, I think I'll do all of that sort of stuff when you complete the dungeon.
Yeah, that's okay.
This part of the dungeon. We'll add all that up.
I did
just-
XP wrong. What should we be on at the moment? I said it instead of added it.
So I think you should be on 480.
I'm on 490.
I'm on phone.
yeah. Yeah, 490, sorry.
Cool.
I'm undercutting yours.
So did we get XP for burning that tapestry?
Not yet.
Yeah.
You were at least
in,
two.
in the Lost Mine, it specifically said when players navigate this trap, award this XP. So if that particular one doesn't, then I'd assume that it doesn't award XP and any other ones that we might come across.
I
No.
would argue that we didn't navigate it terribly well.
You survived it is a good way to say it. It actually says in bright bold text here, do not try and draw on the tapestry with poop.
Really?
No, but that would be hilarious. I would make that edit. Okay, so you've had Rock sniff the door. You're all licking your wounds a little bit as you exit out. What do you do?
Alright. I noticed that Rock's sitting at the door and ready to go, so give him a nod and say, push it open. Let's have a look.
Rock doesn't push. Rock slams through door.
You find that the door, much like the others, very easily gives away to the force of this bear jump as you make your way into another hall. Now, I am noticing that your bear does not have dark vision.
He does not. I am intentionally like wary of that. That's why I'm hoping Dinesh, who's got the same affliction, stays with me.
Okay. Well, as you enter into the hallway, you notice that it sort of scales downwards. There's a few sections of steps, and off in the distance, you can see just from the light that Dinesh is giving off, the shimmer of what looks to be some of the water down towards the bottom.
Can I ride the bear?
You can. That's. I think you need to have proficiency in mounts.
You would. So at this point, no, you cannot ride the bear.
Alright, so I'll move about halfway down and give some light.
I'll just stay just in front of Dinesh, intending to just soak anything that happens.
I'm thinking before we go on, because I have 6 health of my 16, I might use my last spell slot to cast a heal on myself.
Okay.
Can I use prestidigitation to create light?
No.
No.
Create sparks, but they're just instantaneous little things.
Yeah.
I think I can create several sources of light.
I can use.
Rolled well and got 11. Which brings me back to full health.
I can use thermatology thing to brighten or dim flame.
Yeah, no, I can only cast it on one source.
Okay. So as you guys move down, you reveal a bit more of the water towards the bottom, and you see that it curves around towards the.
How much did you heal yourself, Hevel?
I rolled 8, so I've healed 11.
Nice.
So it brings me back to full health.
Okay. I'll get. So I'm guessing you're all in the hallway in that marching order with Rock, Thanesh, Izzy, Hevel.
Yep.
Okay. I'll get each of you to make a perception check for me, please.
15.
11.
13.
19.
Okay. Rock and Izzy, you both hear what seems to some voices coming from inside the room as you're heading towards it. But Thanesh and Hevel, you hear quite clearly the whisperings between a woman and a man, and you're hearing a female voice that's saying, "Why do you keep doing that? You know that they're just going to die anyway." And the man turns and says, "Oh, but you just don't know the pleasure I get out of doing this."
I sort of stop the group and say, wait. There seems to be some really sick fucks up ahead. One guy gets off on hurting people, I think, or doing something horrible.
Rock, not good at speaking anything because he's been a bear, and he lets out a roar. Realizes what he's done and is like just panicking, kind of looking around the corner, just like, oh shit, what have I done?
Are you staying where you are?
Well, we can't see what's going on.
Yeah, I won't be able to see. All right, I move forward just enough that the Nesh can get in behind me with some light.
Okay. You open up into what looks to be another chamber. You can see a number of beams supporting the wall around here. And as you hear from the female voice saying, "Well, if you're going to keep getting off on torturing our prisoners, how about we make some more?" And Rock, you see just towards towards your right here, what opens up to be another altar with a prisoner that is chained there. And I'll read you this section. The eastern part of this room is unlit, flooded, and braced floor to ceiling with wooden beams. A rough hewn steps rise out of the murky water onto the western portion of the room, which is dry and lit by 2 torches in scones that flank the stone altar. Shackled to the wall behind the altar is a sickly man in a loincloth with a burlap sack over his head. An alcove in the northern wall contains a freestanding suit of plate armor missing its helmet. Standing before the altar are 2 grim figures, a powerfully built woman clutching a mace, and an even bigger man wearing a bucket helm. The man is jabbing at the prisoner with a spear, causing him to twitch. Both figures are clad in chainmail, and the woman carries a wooden shield with a leering skull paint. And you know by the statement that she said, "Let's make some prisoners out of these." They turn around, and from the light that they see reminiscing from the corridor that you guys are currently in, they're expecting visitors. So, you're about to be in combat with some new people. Do you want to go through this combat now?
Fuck yeah.
Yep, let's do it.
Why not?
Let's do
Alright.
it, bitches.
Roll initiate.
23.
16.
My bear doesn't have initiative, so
Just
I'm
use
gonna
your
go with the
druids.
rocks. Yeah.
Yeah.
13.
3.
Very nice. Okay. Okay. Sanesh, you will be first to act.
Alright, so I'm going to cast Mage Armor on myself.
Will have that expired? Is it
This is Mage Armor.
because you used it as a reaction before in the
No.
other fight? Wasn't it?
No. That's just a thing I get to do all the time.
Oh, okay. All right, I'm with you. All right.
So that particular action that you're talking about is Arcane Deflection. So when I'm hit by an attack, or if I fail a saving throw, I can use my reaction to gain a +2 to my armor class against that attack, or a +4 bonus to that saving throw. When I use this feature, I can't cast spells other than cantrips in my next turn, until the end of my next turn.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, there's that. So yeah, I'm going to cast Mage Armor on myself.
Yep.
So that brings my armor class up to 14.
To 14. Okay.
And I'm going to move out into the open and stare down at my enemy.
So just noting that you are in the same murky water that you
Yep.
noticed when you entered in, so you are currently in rough terrain.
Yep, so that's as far as I can go.
Yep. Okay. It is what appears to be the female. It is their turn, and they've seen you enter. And she turns to you, Thanesh, and says, my, looks like we have a dragonborn amongst us. I wonder what he's going to do. And she just looks to pull out her big mace and just sort of stands and moves towards the top of the stairs and says, come at me if you wish to try your luck. It is Izzy's turn.
Okay. So I can only move same amount.
Yep.
15 feet.
Yep.
Cool. I'm going to burn my last spell slot. And I'm going to cast Ice Knife at the female. So that the other one is within 5 feet, would you say?
Yes, the male is still within 5 feet of the female.
AoE damage.
Okay, so Ice Knife, roll to hit.
10.
10. So as you fling this ice towards while she's there ready at the top of the stairs, she sees you come through and just dodges as it whizzes past her and says, these spellcasters are never able to do what they want to do.
Alright, and then, so I don't do that 1d10, but on fail, on hit or miss, the shard explodes the target. Each creature within 5 feet of it must succeed a dex saving throw or take 2d.
Okay.
So that would be both of them.
Just to be clear,
Both.
which token is the prisoner?
So the prisoner is chained above the altar, and to give this one.
That's the male icon.
So must make a dexterity saving throw. What's the dex? They both see the ice shard whiz past, and as the explode goes around them, unfortunately, none of the shards manage to make. As the armor that they're also wearing seems to absorb a few of the blows.
We're gonna die.
It is Rock's turn.
So rough terrain is half movement, yeah?
Yeah.
Correct.
Alright, so the bear has 40, so I only get 20. I shall get him rocking right up to here and attempt to bite her.
Okay.
Well, the attack, obviously, but
Yep. Roll to attack.
23.
Hold on. So do you get to use dash as a bonus?
No, I don't need to dash. I've got 40 movement feet.
Oh, you 40 movement feet. Okay, so I thought you
yeah.
were 20 and
It's
you were
fine.
dashing to 40.
No. He's good. He's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So your bite hits. Roll damage.
7 plus 4, 11 damage.
Okay, you manage to sprint up, and the female is actually caught by surprise by how nimble you were to able to move in. The big, powerful legs of the bear gets up towards her as you make a lunge, and you manage to latch to one of her legs as she's situated. You've caught her leg in there, causing some serious biting damage on.
It's piercing damage. I
Piercing,
don't know if
sorry.
that matters. It depends on her armor. Some armors get defenses.
Yes. So. Oh, hang on. Thank you for making me read. So no, she takes full damage from that.
Cool. And then I slash out with the claw attacks.
Yep.
9 plus 6, 15.
So while she's reeling from the bite that's clocked her in the left, she manages to pull her shield in front of herself as your claw manages to scrape across the shield, making a terrible screeching sound that echoes within the halls and bounces off the water. However, she's managed to remain unharmed from the claw.
Damn, she got a lot of AC.
So the man's turn now, as he turns and says, "Or you guys think you can take on Kazira? You are going to be no match for me." And as this cumbersome giant of a man comes forward and sees this bear attacking her, he steps into range and then attacks you with this spear. What is that? 14.
That's a hit.
Yep. So he lunges forward with the spear and manages to make contact within the within your shoulder, and hits you for 8 piercing damage.
I'm waiting for the butt. Wait, there's more.
And he follows up with a booming roar of command as he yells up, "Everyone must attack." And this command, you see, invigorates the woman who he referred to as Kazira, and she, feeling invigorated, turns towards you, Rock, to get a revenge attack as she swings her mace at you. And that is an 11.
I have 11 AC.
So she manages to clock you with the mace across the other shoulder blade that you've had pierced by the there's an opposite shoulder blade than the one that's been pierced by the spear, and you take 9 bludgeoning damage onto that shoulder.
Oof.
Nice. I'm down to normal us HP now.
Hevel, it is your turn.
Okay, so I'm just looking at closing the distance here. So that's like 5 from there, 20 there. So yeah, I can get right up in first space. I'll do that.
If you're using a dash?
No, 30 feet. Like,
Yep.
I'm sort of counting diagonally. No, I probably shouldn't. So if I go that way, that's 5. Or from that position.
No, I'll say where you're doing for the diagonal is fine to cut across like that, but you gotta remember it's rough terrain in the water, so you take half movement.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fair enough. Well, a dash,
yeah.
like, I can't... That would be my action, wouldn't it?
It would.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not a rogue anymore. Alright. Well, if if I am half movement, let's see how far that gets me. It's going to be 15, so it's like 10, and like there.
Yep.
There, yeah. So from this distance, can I do 5 feet? Not much. I could throw something.
Just dash and get yourself in there for next turn.
Yeah.
Wait, did the other character move forward to hit Rock?
Yes, sorry, he did. Apologies.
So Nesh, and is that Izzy?
Yeah, Easy's
Yeah.
above me.
What's your health looking like?
I'm at full health.
Me too.
The bear's a bit bloody.
I'm out of hard
Don't worry
hitting
about
spells though.
healing.
Yeah, I've only got cantrips as well.
I'll be fine.
I guess I'll just dash and get myself into a distance so they can hit me. So I was there. It would double it. I might put myself like there. So that'll do. That's my turn.
Okay.
Get in his face. I'm right there.
Thanesh, it is your turn.
Oh, it's my go again. I'm going to take a couple of spaces and wade through the waters a little bit further. And I'm going to throw a firebolt at the injured... What's her name? Khalifa or...
Hang on.
Khazira.
Khazira?
I'll review because he said the name.
Cool. Yeah, I'm going to throw a firebolt at her.
Okay, roll to hit.
20.
Natural?
No, actually it's 23.
Okay. Yes, that hits. Roll damage.
One.
Wait, didn't you get like a plus on it or something?
No, it's D10. Just straight D10.
So, as you fire this firebolt, you see this somewhat weaker fireball make contact with the chainmail of Khazira, and it warms up enough that she feels the sudden burn across the chest and taking a little bit of damage.
Nice. That'll do me.
Okay. It is Khazira's turn. She yells out to the man, saying, "Ignacio, go after the spell chuckers. Those ones are the weak." And as she says, "I will finish off the bit," and she lunges forward to hit you again with her.
Is she lunging at Rock?
Yes, she's taking care of the bear.
Dev will get a reaction.
She's not moving.
Okay.
Yeah, they're still within their range. I'm just sort of trying to describe it.
Yeah.
But as she swings forward, you're expecting the swing to come in from before, and you manage to stand up on your hind paws as she swings the mace down in front of, allowing you to stand back on all fours, unhit from the strike. It is now your turn, Rock. Sorry, no, Izzy.
Right. I'm gonna move just a little, and then I'm gonna cast Frostbolt at the big
The big guy? Yeah.
Ray of Frost.
Ray of Frost, yep. Roll to hit.
14.
Okay, so as you reach up with the Ray of Frost, you manage to make contact with the man. However, he seems to be quite used to the cold climate, and you see it glance off his chest bare, leaving no mark.
What are the rules on crossbow? Is that like an action to reload it or a bonus action or?
So are you currently holding your crossbow?
I'm not, but I could probably use my free action to hold it.
You could use your bonus action to ready your crossbow, as in to pull it out and be ready to shoot it on your next turn.
Okay, and so if I fired it, then do I use a bonus action again to reload it?
There's no
Oh.
reload action. It'll just be you can only fire it once per turn unless
Okay.
you've got some ability that says. So you'll be ready to shoot it again on your next turn, regardless of what your bonus action is or is not doing.
Yep. I want to have it in my hand so I can choose either crossbow or ray of frost.
Okay. All right. So you use your bonus action to ready up your crossbow in your, and with that, it is now Rock's turn.
Looking at the two, so the lady's obviously wearing chainmail, has a nice big shield. What's the other dude wearing?
The other dude is, it does actually say, is an even bigger man wearing a bucket helm. He is also wearing chainmail.
Hit him in the dick.
He's not wearing pants. He's just
Ned
got.
His one weakness.
I ignore him for now and just keep wailing on the Sheila, so go for a bite.
Okay. Roll your attack.
18.
That hits. Roll damage.
Was so 6 damage.
Okay. So you continue up with your bite on the same location that you've bitten before, knowing that it's a vulnerable position, and you make contact, jaws sinking deep into her wound as blood starts coming out. She cries out in pain. However, she's still ready to go. You said 6 damage, yeah?
Yep. And then I just, once again, followed up with the claws.
Yep. So roll attack.
God, fuck it. 11.
Yep. But once again, she's predicted you down to a T and has her shield in front of herself as she catches your claws once again with the same screeching sound coming. It is now the man's turn. So the man who was identified as Yignath by the female just revealed it. Says, yes, Kazira, I will do as you say, and picks up his spear and throws it towards Thanesh.
Oh,
Take it, Daddy. I don't want it to hit me.
However, he can't quite see how deep the water actually is from where he is, and the spear manages to fall short and gets caught by the water, not making contact with you at all. However, he screams out, saying, I can't do this, it's yours. And using his command voice, he commands Kazira, I need you to attack the fuzzy one again.
Fuck it.
And doing so, she swings with her mace, once again clocking you, but this time on top of you.
you wanted to be the bear tank, right?
And hits you for bludgeoning damage on the back of your skull.
Ooh, I'm down to 5 health.
So what happens when you go to 0?
Any extra damage follows through to my normal form. But
Okay.
otherwise, essentially I become the bear, hit points and all, and when I switch back, I get my old hit points. So that's why I'm not too fast. As long as I don't get whacked too hard in one hit, she's fine. I'll just switch into something else and get, tank.
Okay. And he's frustrated in his throat, and so he's gonna attempt to walk through to pick up his mace. Pick up his spear. Rock and Hevel, you both get an attack of opportunity.
What an idiot. Why would you do that?
Which attack?
Does Rock get advantage?
I think you just get to
is
pick
it
one.
not-
You just get to pick whichever one that you want to do.
I pick claws.
Okay. So, Rock, you can go first. So roll your hit with your claw.
17.
Okay. As he goes to charge past the gap on in between you, you manage to raise up your claw, and his chest brushes against, and you manage to strike back with enough force. You land a hit. Roll damage.
10 damage at slashing.
So he manages to fight through and pushes the claws past, digging into him as he's running past, and takes the damage. You see a bit of a wound open up under the chainmail, but nothing too. And Hevel,
9 to hit.
and you, with the sheer force of this man running past you, you raise your mace to attack. However, you're not quite quick enough. And as he's busting through to try and get away from the claws, he pushes the mace away from himself and gets through unharmed. And he uses his bonus action to pick up the spear. He's now staring down at Uthanesh, spear in hand. It is Hevel's turn.
I'm going to cast Word Radiance. So it'd be Constitution save. Those two guys that are standing next to me.
Okay. Oh man, that's pretty cool. Okay, Constitution save. What is their plus Constitution? So one on. So the chick has got and the man has got a 14.
So what did the chick get?
Hang on, sorry. They actually both have advantage. Sorry. Yeah, sorry. That is a 19 and an 18.
All right, they pass.
No effect on a pass?
No effect.
Dang it.
Okay.
That's it. That's my turn.
Okay. Rolls around to Thanesh.
Cool. So are we playing with flanking rules?
Yes.
Yeah. So you would say Ygneth is flanked by Rock
Yes,
and
because
myself?
it is directly opposite you. Yes.
All right. So I am going to cast a fireball.
Okay. Now flanking works on spells as well. It's not just melee.
I think so.
thought it was like attacks only.
Is it attacks only? Well,
When making a melee attack, you get advantage.
I'll hit him
if
with
your
the
opponent
with
is
the staff.
threatened. Okay.
Using 2 hands on my stuff.
Okay. All right. Roll to hit with advantage.
23.
That hits. Roll damage.
Ha! 10 damage.
So as you see this bulk of a man come in towards you, and he's leant down to pick up you rear up with both hands on your staff, and you manage to make a full contact on the bucket helm that holds his head, and you just hear the rattling around of his head within there. He's slightly dazed, but he's got a full grip on the staff in front of him, and he's ready to return fire on you.
Nice. I'll stand my ground.
Okay. Now it is Kazira's turn. She's feeling very bloodied from the multiple bite wounds that have happened to her leg. However, she's very adamant to finish you off in front of herself. So she rolls up for another attack with them and hits you with an. So she clocks down on the repeated same spot of your neck for 6 bludgeoning damage.
I'm transformed from bear and take 1 additional damage.
So as she does this, as she sees the untransformation, does this high-pitched laugh and says, "Ha! Who could have thought a bear would come down here? It's just a lowly human scum like yourself. Wait, you're not even human. You're a dwarf, and look how short you are."
Savage.
So savage.
Okay, it is your turn.
Who's taken most hits? Is it Yugoth or the?
So you
Ignat?
you can say that Kazira is a bit more worse for wear. However, she's still stalwart with a shield in front of herself. Ignoth is taking a beating, but looks very looks very ready to keep fighting on.
Alright. I might attack Yugnif with Ray of Frost.
Roll your attack.
21.
That's a hit. Roll damage.
What's that? 1d8. 4.
So the ray of frost shoots out from as he's still reeling and getting his bucket head back into position after being clogged by Thanesh, as he sees this ray coming straight at his eyes. Unlike the one that he managed to glance off his chest before, he finds that this is a bit more of a weak spot and that he's feeling very sore from this hit, but still ready to go. What else are you doing for your turn?
He also has his movement speed reduced by 10.
Yep.
And I might move there.
Okay. Rock, it is your turn.
Rock, obviously being called short, just doesn't even bother to transform. Just, has his club at hand. He just waves his hand over it, casts some shalalalala, and then he just goes to smack the bitch in the face.
Okay, roll to hit.
Obviously as angry as he can. This better bucket. Bucket doesn't work. I got a 6.
as you swing past with your mace, not judging the stairwell correctly and obviously a bit dazed from your sudden untransformation, you just see Kazira laughing as she bats away with her shield, the mace coming towards you, and says, "Oh, look, short with your aim and short with your height. How silly are you?" And it rolls around to the Yignath's turn, and Yignath, resolute on the order that was given to him, lunges forward with 2 hands on his spear at Euthanish, and manages to make a clean contact on you through your as you feel this spear go in towards your stomach area, and you take.
I take it increasing my AC wouldn't have helped there.
The roll was a 24.
Yeah, I can't get that.
Yeah. So as you feel the spear go in, the tip is made contact with you, and you take 7 piercing damage.
Okay.
And then you also hear him boom out saying, "I made contact this time. Now is your..." And you feel Kazira invigorated by the command given to her. She follows through to you, Rock, and says, "This is how you make a hit." As she strikes you with a 19.
God damn it.
And the mace, still as you're very dazed, clobbers you through and hits you for 8 bludgeoning damage.
Are you KO'd?
He falls onto the ground, yeah.
You just hear a laugh saying, this is how you do it in this dungeon. Now that goes around to Hevel.
Come on, Hevel. Crack the bitch.
I'm not that tough. Right,
She's
Dinesh,
bloody. She's only got like
how's
2
your
hit
health?
points there. Hey, I'm
So-
alright.
I'm all on 15, so I haven't taken a hit.
I'm on 9.
Dinesh is within 30 feet.
Yes.
I can heal, bring back up Rock.
Yeah, that's probably
and
that'd be good.
give some. Oh no, I can't heal Dinesh actually. I can bring Rock back up.
Yeah, bring Rock back up. My AC is technically 16, so I
Might be
can
worth
shrug
it.
off a little bit.
He can transform into a bigger bear.
Does that short rest return your transformation charges?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's why I pushed for it.
I get half my level and spell slots back too each short rest. So
That's pretty good.
you gonna bring him back?
Yes. What I'll do is I'll just put healing into Rock and restore 2 hit points.
Cool.
So healing hands, did you say?
Yeah.
Is that? Oh, yep. So once per long rest, you can touch a creature and restore 2 hit. So as you reach over and place both hands on your downed comp, you just see this sort of radiance emanate out from your hands as you see Rock soothe and his eyes open back up, and he's able to. While he's still on the ground, you can see that he is conscious and full of rage in the little eyes that he has.
Excellent. That's my turn.
Okay, Dinesh, it's back around to you.
All right, I'm gonna crack Ignith again.
Okay, roll to attack with advantage because
Oh,
Rock is now
shit.
conscious.
I got a 11. I rolled horrible.
That's your advantage roll as well.
Yeah, 6 and a 7.
So you're still reeling from the pain of the spear going into you, and you take a swing back at Ignith, but without the same amount of force that you swung last time, and this allowed him to react accordingly as he parries with the spear, taking no damage.
All right, let's continue to stand my ground.
Kazira, enraged by the fact that you've brought back her prize, turns to you, Hevel, and say, "How dare you do that to our next stop?" And she swings at you with her mace. 15? That's a miss, I believe.
That's a miss.
Yep.
18.
So you, perceiving the rage coming from, you manage to deflect upwards with your mace and parry it over the top of you. It is now Izzy's turn.
I shall rinse and repeat. Frostway, you
And so roll to hit.
13.
So this time you're not quite as expert with your aim. You can see that the fight that's been going off between Thanesh and Ignith in front of you has led to him to be moving around quite constantly. And as he manages to duck underneath this ray of frost coming at him, unbeknownst to him, he didn't see it coming, but he's just already dancing around.
I can't fire my crossbow as a bonus action.
Nope.
I'll move forward another 5 feet.
Rock, it is now your turn. You are prone, but stable and conscious.
If I were to, I'd just be using my movement to stand upward.
Correct, half your movement to stand up.
Cool. All right, I do that. I wild shape and I turn back into the bear and just like without even waiting for the transformation to fully fucking. I don't know how long it takes. I'll assume a second. I'm just already like lunging in for the bite.
So Kazira sees in front of her, you stand up and there's this roar coming out from your mouth as she's almost laughing as this small dwarf is taking a little jump, only to suddenly transfer back into the bear. Roll to hit.
It's a big bear with little dwarf legs.
Big bear with a little heart.
16.
However, she manages to be ready for this one and puts her shield up that's already bearing twice the scratch marks from your claw, and your jaw manages to clench around the shield, but not making contact with her.
Shit, 16 doesn't hit.
Yeah, I think she has fucking like 17 or 18.
Jesus.
So you've both observed that they are wearing chainmail, and you obviously know that Kazira is wearing a shield.
Yeah. I followed up with my claws.
Okay, roll to hit.
Oh, fuck yeah. 18 plus 6, 24.
So while you've got your jaws clamped around her shield, you can tell that she can no longer accurately block with that shield. And as you reach underneath with a claw attack, roll your.
Oh, it's maximum damage. So 12, 16 damage.
With the
Holy shit.
pure rage and revenge that's burning in your already bloodshot eyes within the bear, you reach up from underneath and hit her torso with your claws, managing to reach through upwards and follow through under her neck, completely ripping her neck out. She falls limp with the clatter of the mace and the shield dropping to the ground.
Nice. I remember my mistake from last time, and I turn to face Ignat now.
Okay. It is now Ignat's turn, and he hears the gurgles from his female comrade die out, and as he's even more angry, he is resolute in finishing the mission that she gave him, as he takes another stab with both hands towards the Nesh.
Oh, he's gonna kill me, guys.
You could have disengaged at any time and just walked away, right?
Yeah.
But this time, while he's resolute with his aim towards you, much like the parry that he did on you, you manage to follow downwards with a strike of your mace and knock the spearhead away as it goes towards you and makes contact with the beam behind you.
Awesome.
He yells out, "No, Kazira, where are you when I need you?" knowing that his voice of command does no effect. It is now Evel's turn.
So how does Yignath look?
He's looking
Big,
pretty good, I think.
big, burly with a knocked up head. He's got 2 dints on the bucket helm that covers him, and he's got a nice little gash underneath the chainmail on his chest, but he's still as strong and fighting as ever.
He didn't have a shield, did he?
No, he does not. He's got a 2-handed spear.
Debondi, can you grapple his helmet and spin it around so he can't see what he's doing?
I try to grapple.
Okay, do a strength check for me. Is that a specialty strength check? Hang on.
I'm pretty sure grapple is just outright strength check.
Yeah,
And it's a
okay.
contest versus his, I think.
Okay.
16.
So as you lunge towards him and you grab on towards the helm and you go to make a twist, but you actually find that it is secured fastly both under the neck and around the back, unable to swivel. As he shakes your arms off him and
His
says,
neck
"No,
breaks."
get away! I must kill the spell chucker."
All right, I think that was me.
So it goes back to you, Thanesh.
Alright, this time I'm going to create a magical fire.
You do
that
it, Daddy. Your
burns
strength
on
is
his
better.
face.
So you're making another magical fire underneath.
Yep. So I know it's on water, so I'm gonna make the fire burn just above it.
Okay, all right,
Fueled by magical means, and it will engulf him entirely.
all right. Now it's a dex saving throw, yes?
Yeah, 12.
Okay. So he's totally looking at the hands of you, seeing that he's expecting another swing from your mate to come through and clobber him as he's ready with the spear, but only before it is too late does he realize that just near his torso there are these flames that are just cackling up above him. He is unable to, like, he does not avoid it and takes the damage.
Oh, 8 damage.
Really? That does that much?
Yeah, I rolled 8. It's 1d8.
God damn, that cantrip. Okay, so you can see that the cloth that is surrounding his chainmail is starting to burn away and get red hot around. However, he is still standing and even more angry than before.
My cat has taken an interest in my die, and she's now sopping them everywhere.
Izzy, it is your turn.
The flanking rule doesn't work with range weapons, so
No, melee attacks.
I'll just Ray of Frost him.
Okay, roll to hit.
23.
23, that hits. Roll damage.
28. 4.
So your Ray of Frost, while he's distracted by the flames, is starting to get his hands towards as if to try and shake the flame away, and he's not able to pay attention to this Ray of Frost that hits him clean in the... Does no reprise to the fire that's around him as the fire keeps burning, and he takes the shaken head. You can see he's starting to look a bit more woozy and less attentive than he was before. How much damage you said? 6?
4.
4. Rock, it is your turn.
Rock does what Rock do best, and Rock bite.
Okay, so roll with advantage.
16.
That hits. Roll damage.
8, 5 plus 4, 9 damage.
Do you wanna describe how you do it?
Can I see his neck?
You can, because he is in 2 feet of water. He's gone down, and you're standing on the. You are looking directly at the back of his neck.
I'd like to just attempt to remove his helmet by removing his head. It's
So-
a nice way of putting it.
So as you turn sideways to get a full grasp underneath the bucket helm and just above the chainmail, you manage to make full contact on him as you clasp around both sides of his esophagus. You crunch down with enough force, hoping to remove his head. However, it's not quite enough, but you do see 4 very lovely strong jaw marks on either side of his neck as he falls limp, finally relinquishing the grip on his spear.
I then turn to, what's her name, Kazira, and just literally just start like ripping apart her body, just fucking kill decimating her. And because she called me short. Totally oblivious to anything else going on.
I watch the display of violence in utter horror.
Okay. So as Rock is just threshing away, the rest of you are looking around, and however, you are hearing nothing in the way of threats coming towards you.
I want to have a look at Jake's shield and just see if it's like a standard shield.
Give me a moment. You are hearing muffled movements from the person who is hanging behind the altar.
They're fine. Don't worry about them.
And as for experience, hang on, I just need...
I'll walk over and I'll free the guy from... So, what's he hanging from? Is it from chains or from rope?
Yep. Give me one
Okay,
moment.
sorry.
$5,000 XP.
Okay. Get you each to add 210 XP, please.
Sorry.
Do it properly this time, fellas.
Yep.
210 XP.
Oh, yes.
I'm on 700.
Okay, so Thanesh, actually no, Hevel got in before you. So Hevel, you're wanting to inspect the shield.
Yeah.
Okay, perception check for me, please.
Natural 20.
Natural 20, beautiful. Okay, so the skull that is on Kazira's shield has been painted with fresh blood, although not so fresh as parts have been scraped away by the 2 major slashes that Rock did as a bear, and also the bite marks that now exist on the outside of it. However, you can tell that based on the shield that Kazira was wearing, that she is a Fist of Bane, a representative of Bane, that have been known to carry these shields that have the marking of Bane on them. Now, Thanesh, I'll get you to roll a perception check for looking at the prisoner.
I
11.
also approach the prisoner.
Okay, with advantage if Izzy's there helping.
18.
18. Okay. So you can see that he's being shackled up by his arm. They're being held up, and they're quite strong iron shackles.
I use Mage Hand to remove the cloak over his head.
Okay.
I assume we can't reach him.
You would be able to reach him. You'd be able to get up close enough. He is raised, but not too high up that if you wanted to, you could reach up and remove it with you.
Stop showing off, Izzy.
No, I'm
Um,
not getting kicked in the face.
Are the
Yes.
shackles by a lock and key?
They do appear to be locked.
Alright, so I'm going to look around and inspect the bodies and see if I can find the key.
Okay. Yep. Roll a perception check.
4.
4. So as you rummage through the bodies, you can see that there's not too much left of Kazira because she's been absolutely mauled and ravaged. So lots of parts of the clothing have been thrown off around every. As you go to inspect Yignath, you can see that he's lying now face down in this 2 feet of murky water. You inspect the back that is exposed in the water, and you can't see any sort of loot at that stage.
Alright, I'll drag the Ignath's body out of the water in an attempt to either myself have a better look or let one of the other guys look over it.
Is the prisoner conscious now that he can see us?
Okay, so as you remove the hood off the prison, you can see that he is actually gagged by a thin cloth, hence the muffledness. You can see that he is, a bit damaged. He looks to be holding on to just with a thread of life, but there is movement and he is conscious but muffled.
I move behind him and remove the gag.
Okay. Meanwhile, you've successfully dragged out the body, and it's now halfway up the stairwell.
Cool. Alright, I'll check again.
Yep. So roll another perception.
16 this time.
So you can see a lot more clear now that the mucky water has run off him back into the pooling water. And as you inspect through, you don't see anything until you get down to his belt, where you find an iron key ring. It has 7 keys on it.
Alright, I'll take the keys and I'll begin trying to free the fella.
Okay. So you go through, and you're up while Izzy reaches around and removes the gag, and the guy coughs and coughs while you're up there trying to remove the shackle, and he says, "Get me down from here, get me down, hurry, I don't want to be here anymore." And then as you're flicking through, you find that it's around about the 5th key that you try. And it works. and it manages to unlock both of the shackles holding him up.
Alright, so I'll let him drop. Do we want to leave the conversation for next time?
We certainly can. How you guys feeling?
I think leave it.
Yep.
Okay. Good job. We had a few down. We had a bit of damage going on.
That
We had
bear
a
is
poop
bullshit.
artist. The bear is pretty bullshit. That made that fight. You guys would have been fucked if you didn't have that much HP.
Friggin' 60 hit points before you drop to 0. Unless the enemies are smart enough to whack it before you can change again.
Yeah, I can go bigger. I can go a direwolf and I get more AC and more hit points. But he doesn't hit as hard. He only gets one attack instead of the multi.
Yeah.
I've been figuring it's level 2. Right? We can't be coming across things that big. I was wrong.
This campaign is a bit brutal at the start.
It's good. I hope it continues to be brutal.
Yeah, making you guys think. Like, yeah, I played these guys as a bit dumb because when I was reading through the fact that they're torturing a guy who's already up, I sort of treated them kind of like Pinky in the Brain, where one is a bit smart, one's a bit.
Yeah,
And,
that was good. I like that.
However, yeah, he's a true meat. So they could have changed their attack, but I thought it was fun to keep going with that.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, that was good.
All right,
I'm
so
so
just
excited to burn through those spell books and have a look.
so just to reveal the area. So what you've seen is that there's a stairwell off to the left, and there's a door back behind. And I really have to fix up this dynamic lighting because it's making it a bit rough.
It'd be cool once it works. I wanted to use the dynamic lighting in mine, but it was just too much building all the walls and everything.
Yeah. Well, this one, yeah, because it's a marketplace package, it's got all that inbuilt
Yeah,
into
that's
it.
cool.
So you got all these maps for buying the book, or
But it's a marketplace purchase that you can do
Yeah.
on Roll20. So someone on Roll20 has bought this book, and then they've put all of the content into it to make it seamless. So it might look like I've done a lot of prep, but no, I've paid for a lot of prep.
I believe Roll20 licensed the content just like D&D Beyond and other bits and pieces as well. And all of their content is built like this. So
But
if you
it's
buy the
effectively
adventure here, you've got...
Tabletop simulator.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They give you the platform, and either you or someone else builds the game. Harry.
Talking about flanking and attacks of opportunity. So, rules is written, if you stand in a space, as long as you end your turn in this, or end your movement in a similar close space, you don't provoke an attack of opportunity. This means that someone, and I noticed that when you walked through Rock and Hevel, you made them proc an attack of opportunity. But rules as written is that doesn't happen. That's a legal move. To me, that didn't make sense, because if you try and do that, you're pushing past people.
Yep.
I mean, you can narrate it like
Jumped over a giant bear.
yeah, you can narrate it like you're defending an off as you move or whatnot, but it made flanking what I felt was easily abusable. Was that if you had one person, they could just effectively move through him without penalty and then gain the advantage. So I house ruled it. So if you left any square that was close to an enemy, regardless of which way you moved, you provoked an attack of opportunity. So sort of like you could still try and make that move to flank, but there was a cost for it now.
So what I'm going to do something sort of similar. As in, I think the way I interpreted those rules as written is that it had to do with vision. So the character itself has a cone or like a 180 degree of vision in terms of what's in front of them, and the 5 yards that are around that, if they're moving around, then I still let seeing being as fine. But if you're doing any sort of movement that's going to make you leave either the character's vision or the character's 5 yard in front of you, then that's going to provoke an attack of opportunity.
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
So that still gives you the play of like dancing around in front of you, but much like that dumb oaf that was pushing through to try and do what he was commanded to do, yeah, the bear's gonna fucking grapple at someone as they walk past.
That was good. No, that was fun. I like that.
Yep.
I don't get anything from a short rest. It's bullshit.
Oh, you get heals.
Heals. If I don't take damage, it doesn't help.
Now
That was
you
half my life with the bard. It's like, okay, there's no point to this for me.
so you've currently done 2 short rests within the same day,
Yep.
because this has been 1 day. So I think you guys are probably out of your hit point dice at this point. For your short
I
rest.
spent both of mine at the last short rest, so I'm out of hit point dice. Also, we're noting that you don't regain them all on a long rest. You only gain half of your levels, rounding down, I think.
So you guys are level 2, so you'd get 1 hit die back
Yep.
on a full rest. But you go to full HP, don't you?
Yeah. Full rest will take you to full HP, but I only get 1 hit die, so it makes short rests probably less desirable.
Yeah, I haven't been spending mine.
Yeah, I spent 2 on the last one.
Cool.
The
So
short, the short rest has been great for getting spell slots back. Like the spell slot I got back, I killed the imp with catapult, and this time, like looking at these 2 guys, thought, we're out of slots and we're exhausted, so I'll take the armor class to try and keep my chances of staying in the fight for longer.
I don't get spell slots on a short rest. I have to wait for a... It's more valuable.
I don't get much back now. I only get worth of levels. So at level 4, I can get 2 level 1 spells or a single level 2 spell. So I get 2 levels worth of spells back.
I want a shield.
You'll
Pick
have,
up a damaged one if you want.
I want plate mail.
Oh, well,
there was a
that's
big pseudoplate mail standing. Like, I'm not sure if you can take that and get into that.
So I'll reread just what you've seen on that. 2 grim figures, blah blah blah, both carry. Hang on. An alcove to the north wall contains a freestanding suit of plate armor missing it.
Missing
it.
its helmet.
Its
Head.
helm.
So it's not... Well, can I take the plate mail minus the helm? And...
Good try.
As in, I can try to take it? Or as in, I can take it and try to get...
Well, I mean, you... Are we playing or are we paused?
If you're willing to just do this now, then yes.
It might be
Okay.
booby trap. This is why he's asking. He's gonna do stuff to you. Alright, let's
So,
do it. He's gonna take it.
Describe what you're doing.
You're dead anytime. Describe what you're doing. You die now. It is a rug. It will kill you.
I carefully have a look over the plate mail, see if it can easily be removed, and it seems that way. I'm going to try and take it off it.
Okay. Roll a perception check for me. Oh, wait, no, what is it? Inside?
Investigation.
Investigation. Roll investigation for me.
15.
15. So you inspect the mail. You can see that the suit of armor is actually welded together. However, it does appear that the gauntlets are detachable.
Alright, I'll take the plate call.
We
Okay.
could probably take the suit of plate back up to town, take it to a blacksmith, and get him to remove the pieces.
If you can carry it.
We 2 of us can carry it out.
Oh, I'm a bear. Just put it on my back.
As you touch the gauntlets, they both resonate with magical energy and animate in front of you. I need you to all roll initiation for me.
I'm sorry.
I got 7.
6.
14.
Yeah, 1, not natural.
Debondi, what have you done?
This was a trap for the person that wanted plate mail.
I wasn't quite ready for this. Hang on, I've got to get my.
We're about to be beat up by a ghost piece of armor.
Whereabouts was this? Was that in this room or?
Yeah, so he's at the north. So Hevel's there. He's touching the plate gauntlets, and you've seen them animate. One second. And you see these two gauntlets now acting independently of each other, bound by magical, flailing towards you. Now, let me quickly get the character sheet for them. It will be Rocky. You are up first, Mr. Bear.
Should we do this next week or?
Yeah, I'm happy to leave this here and we'll start the combat as it is next week.
All right.
Even though it might be easy to dispatch and remove, but it'd be fun to start with.
Yeah. I'm
There you
sorry.
go.
When our
Is there a
rolls are
high
refreshed.
chance my bear will just eat them in one go?
I am not saying.
Wait, they're complete gauntlets. They're gonna have like 18 armor class.
It's pretty high.
Fuck you, Debondi.
Sorry.
Kel wanted me to show you how big Tychus has got.
Oh, there's a fluffy puppy. Stand up and hold him. Oh, what a derp.
Ah, it's a cute dog.
That's it. He's getting bigger. He's getting a lot bigger. Does he like being a lapdog?
Nah, he's not much of a cuddler.
Oh, poor guy.
Kel reckons he is. He stinks though, he needs a bath.
Doesn't count if he's forced into it.
Hey?
Hugging.
All right. So I got the things ready. So next week we'll be starting off with a Hevel started encounter.
Say goodbye to your faces.
As soon as I get back to town with those books, I'm finding a bucket load of parchment and inks, and I'm going to copy as many spells as I can into my book.
That'll take him the next 10 years.
What a spell book.
Yeah, actually, kind of glad that you inspected because I did read over a part, but technically these gauntlets should have animated and attacked Thanesh from unlocking the shackles.
Ah, okay.
So there you go. It's not your fault, Hevel.
Yes.
Like, one spell book is enough for a reward, but 3? What the hell?
Well, yeah, because you can already comprehend the languages, and you did a really good investigation on finding them.
Now, what do you mean by
by
comprehend the languages? I can cast a ritual to allow me to read them if they're not intelligible to me.
They're written in. They didn't say they were written in any
A
weird
specific
language. So,
yeah. Just because I
yeah.
know magic, I can read it.
Yes.
Okay.
So you are the perfect person to find those.
That is so cool. Now I got backup books too. Yes.
Okay. Well, good session.
Yeah, it was good. When you're free, don't have to do it tonight, but can you shoot me a message of what spells were in each book and what the book looked like? And I'll make a note of that.
I can do that now.
Alright, well, I'm off.
No worries. You want to do next week again? Do you want to do 2 weeks?
Yeah, like I've got the rest of this dungeon panned out already,
Nice.
and a little bit after. I mean, you guys are probably going to spend an hour of the next session doing your long rest and bickering over stuff, so I think I'm going to be fine.
All right.
All right, well, see you guys.
See you.
See ya.
Good night.
All right. I'll see you later.
There you go. I sent you your message, Daddy. So they're there. There's pitch.
Oh wow. Reading the spellbook stuff, Darty. 2
Hmm.
hours and 50 gold points each spell. That's fucked.
No,
what?
yes, but if I already know the spell, which I do now because I have books, it's half and half. Yeah, half gold cost, half time.
Wait, what's the gold cost for?
So it copies. It is a gold cost in materials that it costs to transfer spells or to write new spells into my spell book. So I can't just take any spell scroll and just immediately copy it into a book. And likewise, I can't take any spell from another spell book and copy it in. There is a cost. Now, by having it already in another book, that halves the cost.
Yep.
Also, if I had have actually... So I picked Warcaster as my wizard family. But I had an opportunity to pick a school of magic. And if I did that, it halves the cost for any spells of that school as well. So, I don't have that. So, I miss out. But, yeah, I'm going to be burning all my gold on materials to put spells in spellbooks.
Well, they've given you a good variance there.
Yeah. The other thing is I can just, change books on the fly if I need to. I think I can keep more than one book on my person, and I just pull out the correct one when I want to cast a spell.
I thought you had to prepare your spells. So
I do.
It's like a druid, as in you have to, on your long rest is when you can switch spells. That's how
Yeah. But I'm saying if I've got spells in 2 different books, so I can prepare a spell from one book and prepare a spell from a different book. Like, I'm not sure if that's legal. I've got to look that up. That's all. If not, I'll transcribe the spells that I want. But you effectively gave me like 6 or 7 different level 1 spells. So, Disguise Self, Fog of Ray, so Fog Cloud, Ray of Sickness, Silent Image. So that's 4 spells in book 1. Charm Person, Magic Missile, Sleep, 3 on book 2. Cloud of Daggers, Dark Vision, Feather Fall, Tasha's Hideous Laughter, 4. So there's 11 spells that I could add to my spellbook. But I'll be playing favorites and picking and choosing what I want.
So one thing, or one Reddit thread I'm reading now is looks to be, while that you can understand it, the act of preparing them is putting it into your spell book.
Okay.
As in, you transcribing them is your act of preparing, or your act of comprehensively understing how to do what is required with that
So
spell.
I need to scribe them into mine before I can cast them. So yeah, that's,
I would
that
say,
makes
yeah. However, there could be something said to say you could spend a certain period of time completely understanding one book to replace your existing book.
Correct.
And then this one would be your new spell book that you are
Yep.
currently using. Yep.
But yeah, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah, wizards are cool. I never looked at them. I always thought the sorcerer was cool. Wizards with their weird class.
Sorcerer gets to do really, really cool things with their spells, but wizards get a lot more freedom, providing that the DM, hands it out. Like, I could go through an entire campaign and the DM might not give any spell scrolls or spell books. That's just bad luck. But yeah, if I've got opportunity to get new spells or spell books, or maybe learn spells from other wizards or anything like that in the campaign, yeah, I can get a vast range of different spells. And at the moment, I've been favouring a lot of ritual cast spells because I can effectively cast those at any time. I don't need to have them prepared, and you can do some pretty cool things with that.
Do you need... Oh, you still learn spells when you level up.
Yep, I get 2 free spells to copy into my spell book every level up.
was gonna say if you're entirely relying on the DM. Holy shit.
Yeah.
That could be really harsh, but I thought I was harsh enough tonight.
No, you were fine.
Hey, you guys handled that pretty well.
You'll learn as I did. Like, I've been looking at combats and going, they've got no chance. This combat, they're gonna like be battered and bruised and gonna have nothing. And then so many of those combats, you guys just walked out with barely a scratch or hadn't even been touched. Worst combat ever was when I had the 2 ogres, and challenge rating that should have been like hard to deadly, and you guys just killed them outright. And I think one of you copped like 8 points of damage at level 4 or 3 or whatever it was.
Yeah, we're pretty good.
Yeah. Don't want to brag, Darty, but you're holding us back here.
My character's a little bit more aggressive. I know wizards are supposed to be frail, but he will sort of man up a little bit more and stand his ground a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been playing into the whole short thing and just ignoring anything else that happened. I was like, well, I did write this in the book, and that's why I just like walked him off down the stairs at the start and had him just blindly attacking Miss Sheila.
It's been good. I've been liking the short comments and the role play that comes from that.
Yeah, as long as you guys enjoy it, I'll keep doing it.
And if we all get like totally killed, we can just blame Apples and his bad roleplay then.
Yeah, like the whole time I'm sitting there, I'm like, I could just turn around and get like, advantage attacks at the other guy, but no.
So, yeah. Oh, you both managed to fall into the 2 traps so far. Fucking tapestry. That was. I was like, I should probably read up what yellow mold does, because it says refer to yellow mold if someone touches it. I'm like, fucking these guys aren't that dumb enough to go up and touch the tapestry. First, I draw a poop smiley face on the dismembered corpse.
Yeah, I don't know how to play neutral, because I've said he's neutral, as in, I assume that means he's just like a normal lad who doesn't care either way.
Yeah. If there's a goal that you want, you'll do it. You won't care of the consequences.
Yep. So you're doing it pretty well.
So if you think someone should die, you'll go and you'll kill him, regardless of whether the law says that he should live or not. Or if you want, somebody's shiny thing, you just decide, all right, that's really, really cool. I think I deserve that more than you. You just go and take it, regardless of the character's bad or good or however they obtained it. Or you might, decide, hey, you're pretty cool. I'm going to protect you. And, anybody that fights you, I'm going to protect against you. Like, you basically decide something and then you focus on achieving that goal regardless of outcome. And, if that means that sometimes you side with the law, then you do so. If it means sometimes you go against the law, you do so. Do good things, do bad things. Whatever makes sense at the time, like, you'll just go for that. At least that's how I understand neutral to be.
It sounds legit.
I was so tempted to breathe fire over both of them, but I would have hit you and DeBondi. So I was like, no, I won't do that.
How far's the cone as well?
15-foot cone.
So, you wouldn't have hit the prisoner?
No. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm not excited for when you and Fuzz start getting fucking AoE spells all over the shop.
I am.
It's gonna fucking kill me.
It's alright, you got 100 hit points that don't matter.
The only thing's keeping us alive.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to head off, so next week. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Alright, catch you around.
I'll see you later. I'll
See you, man.
probably be back online. I'll play some Diablo or something if you're hanging up. Oh, it's hanging around, James.